All right, the button says we are live, so I'm going to assume that's correct right now. Hey, this is Aaron Karsten with Role Playing Public Radio, and welcome to this special quarantine version, I guess, of the RPPR Patreon game. Honestly, just to say right now, once we're recording now, hope everybody with you're safe right now. Just keep helping each other out. That's the big thing. But tonight, we are going to go from our current the kind of crisis situation to one after that in space, where that's like homicidal. That's AI is basically wrecked the Earth right now, so we're out here. Welcome to Eclipse Phase Second Edition. The name of the game is A Giant Among the Stars, and we have three wonderful Patreon players with us tonight. So I'll go from left to right around the corner, or I guess clockwise in this case. You can introduce yourselves and the characters you're going to be playing tonight, starting with Ryan.
Hi, this is Ryan. I'll be playing Sava, a freelance covert operative.
Okay. So, and is there any particular hypercore or criminal organization that you're working for that kind of brought you into this life?
I don't know, not particularly.
Okay, so well, I'll say for this: Are you some? All right, are you an uplift that for? Are you not uplift? Excuse me, but just are you some of the use come online currently within past the time of Earth, or were you a consciousness that fled?
No, they've been around the system. They were off world when the fall happened.
Okay,
but still bad things have happened to them involving Titans.
Okay, so and that Titans are always unfortunately scary no matter what. So it's just getting through the day without really thinking about it. So all right, good job. All right, Joe.
Yes, I am Joe, and I'm playing Burke.
If we're just going to complete the role, it's like role play exchange.
That's right.
Set up completely.
The circle.
All right. So what kind of character is Burke?
Burke is an info-life enforcer and bot jammer and all-around badass.
All right. So, and kind of a similar question: Are you? That's like consciousness that has been online for a while since the fall, or have you just been recently online?
Recently split off from the Transfinity Cone line. A group of AGIs based on Titan. She bounced on Titan because it sucks there and you can't kill anything.
Yeah, well,
so she went in system where all the action is.
We're about to get in there. So I guess so. So in that case, it's we're bounty hunting. I guess on that's like Mars or crawling the Barsumian plains.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still bounty hunting if you get their stack. Yeah.
All right. So that is absolutely true. So and maybe it's at least an ego that no selling to 9 lives. We don't do that here, or at least try not to. So, all right. And finally, Chris.
Hey, this is Chris. I'm playing Pivo, a Neo-Octopus uplift scavenger that has had a nice relationship with Burke over the years.
Okay, so
fist bump Pivo.
Yeah.
Fist to tentacle bump.
Oh, so all right. So in this case, what's the kind of job that you've been doing with Pivo?
But she listens to me, and that's what really matters. So, and good old Pivo has got busted by firewall in the past
So you've actually had an encounter with firewall.
The eye, yep, but has a good connection with the eye, who keeps him a healthy supply of fake IDs, just trying to stay ahead of the night cartel. So he's a criminal, but he doesn't.
Oh, you still there? Oh, cutting out just a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just criminal, but trying to stay away from the night cartel.
Okay, so yeah, it's pretty important too. Although, I'm sure your encounter with Firewall, it was that, we let you live this time, but you say anything and you can say hello to all your backups being gone. So
yep, more or less.
All right, so that might prove an interesting thing. So I like that. All right, but despite all of your previous connections, through the different mesh, that's like mesh notes, you all noticed a very, very high-paying job that's specifically pinged to most of your it's like to all of you, specific to your general skill sets. Initially, you notice that the odd thing about this was that it was asking only for no general information about who is going through, which you've all worked in jobs right now where that's like the owners or the requesters have been acting through general proxies, but they are taking in. But it has enough general credentials there, so you can actually, look at your muses can actually say this is legitimate. So it's actually coming through actual hypercore communications, and it's not being spoofed in any which way. And you are, that's like on acceptance. If when you do, it tells you it gives you actually free farcasting transport to meet with a contact through simulspace over in the Nova York habitat within the main asteroid belt. So now, we can go ahead and just do a general information. The general information that you know about Nova York is that it is actually a honeycomb style habitat, which is spun that's like spun for microgravity on its end, but it is actually one of the more unique ones because honeycombs usually are fairly closed in and don't have a lot of really maneuvering room. But Nova York is a bit of an oddity, specifically that it actually has a fairly giant inner cavern that has allowed construction of a metropolis roughly the size of Manhattan. So, with so many general skyscrapers that could be built thinner and taller than they would under normal gravity as well. It's mainly known as a tourist destination / artist collective, where there is a lot of different shows that are constantly going on, as well as allowing some people to buy in for higher. Fancier apartments in this place. It houses about 5,000 residents total, but it's usually avoided by the hypercores, specifically in a couple different ways, mainly in the fact that it has an odd meritocracy system in the form of a local currency called Noyo that is directly tied into your rep scores, and also has the odd thing about it is that this currency actually decays over time, so it does not take. It particularly takes over a certain amount of area of reputation bonuses or work to be able to keep that up on a regular basis. So, with the case outside of the case of normal people, basically normal people around the solar system, you have the socialites there who are working constantly to basically make sure that they always have a place here. So, which makes it a little bit odd for where you're going right now in the initial system. So, the report that you were given, is that that's like a asset tracking job. So you don't really get a lot more information on that. Other than that, the rep bonuses that you are asked to give, as well as currency there, will set you up nicely for a long time. The only issue on this is that you are not allowed. You basically are linked underneath a permanent contract linked over to your particular morphs. So, means that if you decide not to do abscond on this particular mission, your current bodies will be forfeit. So, but the money is incredibly good, as well as the rep. So you've decided to go ahead and take this offer. And as of right now, you are being res back in to your bodies, or at least beforehand. In this case, I will say that there's not going to be, since you're going back into bodies that are similar to your own or morphs, there will not be any kind of integration test that you're gonna have to worry about. So, let's see. Just go ahead and random. Everybody else, roll 1d6. Let me know what you get.
I get a 1.
Got a 1? Okay.
I missed that last bit, Aaron. What did you say?
Can you roll 1d6, please?
1d6. Sure. There's a d6.
Okay.
6.
6?
I
All
also-
right.
I also got a 6.
Okay, so with the first one, so actually, yeah, so in that case, Burke and Pivo, you are Burke and Sarah, you are the first two to wake up in the symbol space. What does it look like?
It is this person's understanding, perhaps incorrect understanding, of a classic office view over old Central Park.
Okay, so that must. So what would be incorrect about it?
Orientation, size of the office, height. The height's probably real wrong. Too tall.
Okay, so yeah, it's a bit of a it's a little bit off-putting right now, depending with that. So, and in that case too, as well, it's like Sava. What is in addition to this particular Manhattan office space that would be more familiar to you?
There are a number of people you can see like kind of in the hallway, walking back and forth. And if you attempt to interact with them, they will inform you that they are walking over here.
Okay, so we have the constant we have the Joe Pesci progression that just keeps going on and on for.
Yeah.
So alrighty then, yeah, it's a little bit. So both of you, because you made that. In this case, Pivo, you don't have to worry about this since you're still integrating in there. But you realize that your memories have been integrated into this particular thing. So, or that you are that's like we're given information has been taken from your core memories to basically assemble something comforting. So, go ahead and make a will check if you would, please. And this is a will times 3, so you're basically just trying to roll underneath it what that time is. Okay. What'd you guys get?
Say, will times 3, I get 57, which I believe should be a success. No, it is a failure. Oh wait,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
times 3, it is a success, barely.
Is it success barely? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and
60,
Ryan.
57 under 60.
57 or 60. Okay, good. So, all right, and Ryan, what's your score?
37, so that's success for me.
Success. Okay, so it is a bit disturbing off to the side, but you end up realizing that so the fact that your core memories were in this case were in these particular wars were violated on that side tells you that you're kind of messing with somebody who has complete control over this symbol space. So which is a little bit odd. So it's about this time that Pivo, you wake up, and experience the same thing. So and realize you're a symbol space. And at that time, you notice that there around this office space that there is a desk that you didn't notice before, with smoke rising from a chair that is turned away from you. So,
in a stage whisper, I say to Pivo as soon as he arrives, "They're fucking with us, Pivo. They're fucking with us already."
Which you didn't want to be bored, did you?
I did say it was boring. I'm just saying. I'm just warning you.
So, all right. So at that time, you hear what appears like a woman's voice coming over the side. This is not us fucking with you. This is me verifying your credentials and to make sure that there aren't any kind of nasty egos hiding behind this. You cannot imagine how careful I have to be in this situation. So, you turn around and you see what looks like a morph woman who, or I assume right now, woman who is in a sylph morph. So, which is a very, very highly, if you haven't seen those before, very, very highly attractive, highly functional biomorphs that are usually set for socialites. So, she kind of gives everybody a cold stare. You were given it's like particular invites here because of recommendations that you can get jobs done quietly without a lot of that's like without a lot of noise, as well as dealing with certain more acerbic elements in your chosen professions. Am I not wrong?
I glance over to Burke and I just kind of point with one of my many arms. Be like, is she talking about us? Like, what?
Of course, she's talking about us.
Quiet? Quiet us? Must be
You're
talking
not
about
wrong.
that guy over there.
So I will go ahead and so in this case, yeah, you just looked around. Okay, so here is the deal. It's like she brings up a picture. What looks like a guy in what appears to be another sylph morph, although it looks like he's aged. It's like it's artistically aged in a way to make it more look like a distinguished gentleman. All of you do not have to make rolls on this particular one. You do recognize who that is. The name of the chief financial officer of Comet Express, one of the most notable delivery services within the solar system. A gentleman by the name of Xander Halcyon. So the biggest thing about this right now of him is that he is known for most of their wheeling and dealing along the hypercores, and in addition to his duties here, was a consummate face man, constantly trying to get in front of different XPs and cameras to sing the praises of it's like Comet in comparison to their competition. With the usual general catchphrase, you'll see him. It's like see him on different mesh ads. If you don't, it's like if you don't know it's fast, it's not Comet. So horribly, horribly corny stuff. But the woman sitting there, this asshole, it's like disappeared on us within that's like within the last 3 months. She brings up different images of what look like investigative crime scenes, which appear to be a large break. Which appear to be a break-in of some sort with an apartment, but also that's like shows Xander Halcyon's very, very dead morph. So looking off to the side there, as though it was that's like although he had committed suicide. So we ended up that's like we thought somebody else had tried to get to him and to his morph, and that he decided to take himself out in order to be able to protect at least the assets. But in turn, we think that this was a highly planned corporate espionage raid on his part, in which he was trying to not only take assets from us as well, but in order to try to escape on underneath some sort of golden parachute of his own. We had that's like discovered in the fact that he actually managed to farcast himself out of there, and we believe that he has put himself somewhere on this habitat. His current whereabouts are unknown. None of his backups are there, as all of them had been strategically erased. So we're still currently on the lookout for him. As far as the public goes, knows he is still dead. But we need to figure out where he is on the station, what assets that he has, and in particular, that's like one of the things. If he is trying to abscond with things right now, one of the things that we want to hold dearly. She picks up a picture of what looks like a white. It's like a statue of a 9-foot tall white human, which is either cast in some sort of plaster or or carved out of stone. Neither which one. So I will say, does anybody else have Earth history, or a particular knowledge skill that might be helpful for archaeology or whatnot?
Let's see.
No.
Nope.
No, doesn't look like it.
Okay, and so
Will you give me black markets?
absolutely, actually, that is something that you definitely would see.
All right.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay, you did pass that. How much by?
I got a 28.
Okay, so 28. Alrighty then. This image is going up in there to take a look at what we're seeing here. You absolutely know what this is just by chatting it. This is the famed Cardiff Giant, a facsimile of a it's like false facsimile of the giant of a giant human being that was discovered in quote unquote discovered in a field. Of a farmer back in the late 19th century. It stood as a roadside attraction for years on end, but was eventually discovered to be a fraud. So it was actually one of the more it's like it was one of the things in oddity circles, usually particularly within the Argonauts, that thought was lost when the fall occurred, since it was just, even though it was a fake, it's just one of those fascinating stories from Earth. But apparently it had survived, was taken off of Earth, and had fallen into the private collection for Halcyon himself, which was not told by anybody. In addition to this, the woman looks up. The reason the thing is more important to me, not just beyond its monetary value, is the fact that he bound it's like a massive amount of reputation. That's like information or credits right now, which is unlisted, somewhere on this particular that's like artifact. So that's like these are assets and resources that are essential to our company surviving. So if we do not have that, we could potentially face a market crash and be taken out by a competitor. Or if anybody finds this particular information right now, they could become rich off of all our hard work. I will not let this stand. So, and it's like, so this is why you are being brought in. I need you to be able to track this down and reobtain this for any. It's like reobtain this artifact in us without causing a massive amount of noise. So now I have to warn you that that's like again, this city operates a little differently than some of the places that you've been to. You are that's like particularly going over the application of Noyo. This is how you get into anything in anywhere. But if you are going to be able to find this right now, you need to start doing an investigation immediately. So basically, this is the general information that she's given you that that Halcyon has faked his own death, has supposedly absconded over to the over to Nova York in order to hide out or to possibly transfer the credits that are on this particular artifact. So in order to basically make himself an easier life, or at least that's the assumption right now. So what questions do you have? What research would you like to make?
All right.
Well, how does she know exactly it's here? Like, what information did she get that said, "Hey, we know it's on Nova York"?
So it's like she kind of looks at you reluctantly. Because before it's like after we were examining some of his files that were left, we managed to piece together that he had an apartment here on Nova York that was purchased with at least unknown trading gains beforehand. So we know that's there. She actually gives you a listing address for a large-scale Spire penthouse that is underneath a pseudonym that Halcyon gave.
What is this guy's interests? What does he get up to? Any idea about that?
That's like primarily he was a socialite, so he liked to be at parties, different area. That's like different play. That's like different highlights there. He liked being the center of attention, but that makes it almost incredibly odd too, because this is the place that he would thrive in. But nobody has heard from him since this incident. Again, his present face is that he committed suicide. That he is not. It's like that he is no longer alive. But again, through our investigations, we found out that he did farcast this area, but we haven't seen anything of him so far.
Let's see here. Can I just roll a knowledge criminals check to see with what kind of people this guy might hook up with?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you think that there's somebody he would be able to go to.
Nah, I can't find 78 out of 50. It's like, nah, no chance.
Okay,
He's on his own.
you do know. I will say, yeah, you don't unfortunately have that. Although I will say that how high was that above your? How high of a failure was that?
28.
28. Okay. I will say that unfortunately you couldn't think of anything that he would do there, but you do know that there are different that's like there are particular criminal factions that do exist here, although they have to be very careful to be able to that's like in order to be able to get what they want out of this place without getting caught. I will say if you want to make if anybody else has a particular reputation bonus, wants to make a criminal reputation roll, you could actually get information on that. That's like from a contact to who might be interested in this artifact.
I'm gonna wait until it's more critically important.
Okay. I can make that roll now.
Okay.
Might give us a good lead.
All right, and that's going to be a mild favor too. So make sure to check off one of those on your bet, and then make the roll. And you're trying to go underneath your points that you have.
Plus 10 for minor, right?
Yep. Yes, that's correct.
All right. No, I know nothing.
Okay, so
and I.
So yeah, this is not there. You'll have other chances to look up that for. So,
and I make knowledge hypercorps for any more specific information about him. What kind of stuff he does, known associates who might be on Nova York, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make that roll.
And then could you include in that like why he wanted out in the first place? Like why did he?
That may be more of a persuasion roll, but I'll let you talk about that here in a second.
All right. That's a crit fail, so I'll spend insight to not have a crit fail. Is that something you can still do?
Yes. You can nullify that in there. So, which is good because I would say no. You would be able to access some information about that or figure out something, but that would lead a large blazing trail back to you. So, is what that would do. All right. But no, you're not really sure about that. I won't say knowledge information probably won't get much for that, but if you have a persuade roll that you can make with your benefactor here, you might get some more information from her.
I probably can't manage that.
What's your persuade skill?
I'd have to go with base.
At base. Yeah. So, what's your base then?
15.
15. Okay.
I'll try it.
Well, I would say, give me your speech right now. What are you trying to do to persuade her? So.
Okay. Yes. Listen, I get that security is key here. I get that you don't want to embarrass your employer or yourself in this situation. But again, anything more specific than he likes to go party and he has a lot of money that would be extremely helpful with this investigation. Like you said, time is paramount.
Okay. So, all right, that's good enough. So you can roll at a plus 20.
Okay. That won't.
All right, so.
She wanted the best. She's got the best.
Yeah. So she's just kind of looks at me. It gives you a side eye. It just says, "Look, if you're going to be dealing literally on business for Hypercore, you're going to have to do so much better than that." I'm assuming right now it's like you are here to be able to get this artifact and that. So if you want to look through other things, you can't. The other resources here, there are other contacts, but you're going to have to literally hit the streets and the mesh. Looks at her watch. I have a meeting to go to here, but so I have no other time to get to waste here. So you have my general contacts. You have my muse contacts. You can let me know when you have that in the possession. Either that's like the giant, or that's like a confirmation of the rep. That's like that the rep data that is on that. I expect to hear from you shortly. I will give you one freebie in this case right now. I can let you know that that's like one of the things that Halcyon was investing in. Thankfully, God with his own funds in this case, was a art gallery downtown by the name of the Eternal Wormhole.
What a beautiful name! It just rolls off the tongue.
It does. So. So a lot of that has to do with different, well, they call transient art, so holographics and whatnot. But but that might be a good starting point there to figure out where you can get the information. So, um, good day, off with you. So, you see her disappear with a Comet Express logo behind her. Everything goes black, and you are reintegrated into your morphs. So, all right. As you wake up, you are given information of a safe house. So you've been given a Noyo lease. So for the better part of about 3 days. But remember, this is a decaying one on this point that is going off of the reputation from there. Any kind of extensions you want to do, it has to go on yours. Also, if you do any kind of damages to anything or anything particular, you are going to have to make rolls to pay for that through your own reputation. So remember, this can damage reputation that you use. So
Got it.
but you do have a place that you can go to in order to plan out, if necessary, a safe house and whatnot. So what would you like to research first? What would you like to do?
All right. Well, it looks like we have two places, his penthouse apartment and the art gallery. And if there's an art gallery, there's bound to be criminals attached to that art gallery. So what do we all feel comfortable looking into?
I'm thinking the gallery. It's just more likely to be quieter if that's our goal. So just go there, talk to some folks, shake a few hands, grease a few palms.
Okay. So, all right, you can go ahead and do that as well. So is that the consensus for everybody else?
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Sure.
All right, and before that too, if anybody else has any particular research roles you'd like to do right now, because I'll say that you could go to the safe house and get that. That can be done now if you have any ideas.
Well, can I do a knowledge cartels or black markets regarding the eternal wormhole? Because, like I said, if there's art gallery, there's probably some type of criminal activity or chatter about it. If there's anything illicit going on,
absolutely, you may make that roll.
What do you think would be better, cartels or black markets?
Yeah, black markets would be more about I would say black markets would more be on the terms of things that you could send around, and you already kind of made a roll on that. If you're in cartels, that could tell you about particular groups who might be interested in this particular information. So
sold. We'll go cartels. Let's see what we got. No, nothing. I don't know anything.
What's your cartels roll?
My skill is 50, and I got a 56.
A 56? Okay. So that's not a major failure here, too. So, yeah, unfortunately, that won't give you a lot of information about this. And also remember, you can re-roll rolls if you need to for certain things. So, if you want to spend the flex or the other your other pools. So that's not too far off right now. However, you do know that information doesn't give you who would be around interested, but it does give you it does remind you of the fact that there is one particular group that is not considered an official cartel, since they don't really crime, but they're kind of untrustworthy. It is a scum swarm known as the Romantic Movement. So they are particularly known to be a literal traveling art show that will go from different locations and usually try to outbid or take over or take different art exhibits right now, depending on what they feel that their tastes in are at the moment too. They have been known to deal in more low-level things but before our illegal actions, but usually they keep above board enough to make sure that they are not that they're not caught. And lo and behold, it's like one of the parts of their main swarm are docked within the asteroid belt at this moment.
Oh, lovely. Good to know.
So with that, so that's one of the other one. But yeah, that's information that you can give. I'll say that. So, Sarah, Burke, anything else you'd like to do before you go?
Yeah, I'm gonna try knowledge bodyguards and see if it's likely that this guy is going to be running around with some heavy lifters.
Okay.
Wow, these dice hate me. 92 out of 50.
So if
It's
he is
probably fine.
if he is literally around, you have no idea.
Yeah.
So
All right.
He's the best bodyguard there is. You don't even know
Yeah,
he's
he
there.
is his own bodyguard.
mhm.
All right.
So with that,
Oh,
all right. Oh well, no, it's a good try anyway. So before you go, that made Sarah, Sava, do you have any rolls that you'd like to make or knowledge you right to beforehand?
No, let's just go.
Okay.
We'll I have ideas, but we'll do it when we get there.
Alrighty then. All right. So you go there. You actually don't even though the this habitat is massive. Transit is actually pretty easy if you're deciding to go on foot. Most of the main areas that are around buildings right now have installed railways that allow you to basically push off and slide for a certain amount. They can go for blocks depending on how much force you get behind. So that's like doing a lot of general sliding around in the areas that you are. That's like here. And right now, you don't have to do any free fall checks since this is just general movement. But if you do get into something serious, that might be something to consider because you are in microgravity. So, all right. But you actually do find a moving it's like handrail system that gets you there to the art gallery. The infinite wormhole is a bit interesting. The entrance of it is actually motivated by the microgravity. It is what looks like the entrance of it appears to be 3 different stone rings that are moving in opposite directions of each other. That you have to kind of maneuver yourself around as the entrance event. That's like slowly, but it's like slowly will open up and close back up to allow people. It's like in there, so it's a bit of a timing situation depending on how you get in. But as you do see, it looks like there is an event going on at the moment. There are bodyguards that are at least bouncers that are standing on the outside, looking over. It's like looking over different mesh items. So IDs right now, so you can try to get in there. So there's a couple ways you can try to get in. So you can kind of BS your way in, try to see if you can get an invitation somewhere there, or you can try to figure out another way to get into the building outside of the main entrance.
In my criminal pack, I do have the fake IDs.
Okay, so you can try to spoof your ID.
Yeah.
In order to do that. So, all right, and let me take a look to see. I believe that just gives a bonus to deception checks when you're trying to get through.
Let me check.
So,
yeah.
In the meantime,
Yep.
Burke goes to reach out for the spinning rings and then stops herself because she remembers that they're not supposed to be making a lot of noise.
Yes, that is
Rounds.
Good options there. Good options.
Proud of you. You withheld yourself. That's great.
Excellent.
Doing my best, man.
All right, I will actually say that that will allow you an extra insight. So
Nice. I'll take it.
for trying to be quiet right there. So, all right. For fake ID, forged its own rep scores with the rep scores. Yes. So, that will. So basically, if you're going to go ahead, that will. You can set that up to basically get 1 free pass within there. So,
Okay.
if you'd like to do that. So, but I will say that if you're trying to bring the entourage into, you will have to go ahead and bring up. It's like you're going to have to go ahead and make up an excuse or persuade for the others coming in with you.
I also have fake ego ID.
I'll just wait out here unless you see any, Lords Byron inside or Ladies Byron. Then I'm gonna want in, but otherwise I'm good.
Yeah, if there's a Lord Byron, we'll let you know. I'm looking for the Shelley myself. Burke, do you have persuade or anything at all?
That was Burke.
Yeah.
And she does not. She is bad. She's gonna just chill out here.
Okay.
God damn it, Burke.
Do you have TACnet? Because I'll turn a TACnet on.
Yep. That's what we'll have to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and then if I have to kick my way in, I'll be ready.
All right, I will.
I'm still gonna try it at base. I'm still gonna try to get you in, but we'll see how this works.
Sure. Whatever, man. Give you the double guns.
So is it just deceive at base is what you have?
Oh yeah, it's either deceive or persuade. They're both at base. It doesn't matter. But I'm gonna.
Okay. All right. Well, you have the fake ID in this one, so
Yeah.
again,
Well, my pitch is, hey, come on, this is Jimmy the Squid. You gotta let me in here. This is my main girl. You gotta let Jimmy in. What do you think this is? Yeah, people in there. They're not gonna let me in.
Come on.
Okay. So I like that on there too. So yeah, with the fake ID in that case, I'll say that's a plus 30 you can get for this. So since you had some backup there to be able to give yourself, yeah, because as you're going up to the guard, you see it's a guy in a very humorless remade 2.0 more. So they are not kidding around here.
Clearly, he needs to see some more of the romantic arts.
Never mind.
Hey, I got a 20. That's a 26. That'll actually work.
26. All right, that's like that. Actually succeeds. You see him staring you down pretty heavily, but as he's looking down, he just kind of sits. It's like he just kind of rolls his eyes and basically rolls his eyes and just kind of opens the a velvet rope because this is a classy establishment, and looks downside. You need to count to 3 before pushing yourself through. Please do that. That's like the eternal wormhole is not responsible for any damage to Morph and will not. That's like compensates you for lost implants and or loss of ego.
I wiggle a few of my arms. So is this going to be a problem or is this...
No, it's not. It actually goes more slow right now. But you can tell he's basically looking at people, looking for people right now, socialites who are way too fucked up on it's like on narcotics or narco algorithms.
God.
So
I'll pick some of that stuff up myself later.
Yep. All right. But yeah, if so, in this case, is it just are all of you going in, or I'll say for Burke, are you staying outside?
If they got me in,
yeah,
Burke
no, I was
in.
yeah. I was trying to get Burke in because Sava and I both had the fake IDs.
Yep. So nope, that's absolutely going to come through. So all right, you get in. Once you're in, you are
anybody in an art gallery before.
Yeah, you are immediately. It's like just overwhelmed by the sights of different AR displays that are going through out the building too. Just large lights, large holographic displays of different classics pieces. Excuse me, for different. It's like different pieces and whatnot. People milling around. You see the dance floors on here, around here. You actually do see. That's like that's like larger pieces that look like they are new to the gallery too, that are kind of being that's like centralizes here. So it's particularly in the middle of the gallery too, because it's basically just a giant oval carved shape that have different art displays on them. In the middle of that, there is a bit what looks like just a large orb that is made up of different pieces of metal that are you don't know how they did it, but it looks like it was fused and then made to look like it had pieces breaking off in waves around it. So no matter where you look at it, it almost looks like it's in constant movement, especially with the lights and the different AR displays. So
now this I like.
So
this is a good one.
Which everybody can see this. There's not it is not a big issue, but it's not something you have to look at. But there's an AR display over there that says that's like sculpture piece Infinite Egress that was donated to the gallery by Xander Halcyon.
So interesting.
But yeah, so big there here. But so all right, I will say for this one, if everybody else wants to make alertness checks, let's see.
Perceive.
Perceive. Thank you. So yeah. Go ahead and make perception checks, and you can see what we can pull up the information.
I got a 20 out of 50.
20 out of 50? Okay. All right.
Actually,
and
60, excuse me, the more.
Okay, no worries. So, all right. And did everybody else succeed?
I also succeed. I get a 10.
Okay. All right.
Failure 96.
Failure 96. All right. This wasn't a critical failure, so the lights
I'm
are
changing
just
these dice out.
yeah. The lights are too much for that too. You actually do find somebody else in an uplift octopus, who seems to be doing some sort of knife slash. It's like hollow version of knife slash torch dancing. So, which is pretty
That's
fascinating.
rad as hell. I am entranced.
Yeah, you go look at that while we could keep staring at the Event Horizon orb, whatever this is.
Okay. So yeah, perceptions right now that you're looking about here. That's like for the scores here. Those are double successes. You have or superior successes, excuse me. You do notice that a large amount of this gallery absolutely is dedicated to the dedicated to a lot or donated to from Halcyon himself. So it seems to be a big celebratory. So think of like a particular art installation to it, like the Guggenheim. So
Mhm.
if they're focusing on one of those, but as you're doing that, you notice two as the parishioners are coming through. There are two particular groups that seem to be going around them on a constant basis or just looking at them way more intently. One of them, it's like, is a group of at least three who, for the lack of a better term, look like they are in modified fury morphs that have been modified to look like they're in the most hair metal punk version of a Mad Max outfit that you've ever seen. Just ripped leathers, bright neon mohawks, AR, it's like add-ins over everywhere. And you can actually see as they're looking at these pieces, they are creating versions of them, and they're letting their muses create AR versions of the copies of these, and they are destroying them in the front of them. So I will say that if you want to do for that, if anybody wants to make a hypercore or a knowledge hypercore or a knowledge criminal one, you can actually pull up information on these guys.
Oh man, 57 out of 50 for knowledge criminal. I just text everybody else out. They're trying too hard.
I also failed that.
So all right, so no, it's like no successes on that.
No.
Okay. So all right, if you want to, you can also tap. You can actually. I will allow you to go ahead and tap. Let's go ahead and tap. But you end up making contact with your muse. Like, you take an image of these guys through your XP, and then figure and look at them, and you figure out, oh, you've heard of these guys before. This is part of oddly enough, an underground. That's a weird underground art. That's a art, criminal and performance art group called the Warhols. So they are. It's like they are literally an ultimate groups that a group of ultimates who decide that their expression of their own perfection is literally destroying the art in front of them to create new. That's like new life, to bring art through destruction and their own rebirth. So it's a little bit odd from right now where you see them in an art gallery that might be intact or something that they don't set up themselves. So the fact that they're here that's like key them in that they need something a little bit more that you might be in for a little bit more trouble right now, or that they might be looking for the same thing that you are.
Start rubbing my hands. Ooh, I'm getting the shivers. The shivers. Gonna get exciting. It's gonna get exciting.
So, but it's about that time that you. That's like that. I will say it's Pivo. So, you and Burke are. Excuse me. You Burke are approached by a. Oh no, Burke, you're outside. I apologize. So, you're waiting.
Burke made it in.
Oh,
Yep,
you're.
Burke's
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, you're approached by this person. That's like another person in a huge AR one. Looks like that they are in. Actually, it's a little bit odd. They're in a Neotechnic, so a child morph. So, but they're looking up. Haven't seen you in the gallery before, gentlemen, or ladies, or whomever you may be.
It's first time for me. I've never been here before, but
Oh,
pretty
so
rad.
first time in the gallery or first time in Nova?
First time in the gallery. I've passed through Nova before.
Ah, so, oh well, it's like I'm glad that you
I'm
humbled
sure.
we are humbled by your own presence here to be able to look in this, to look at our wonderful tribute to a friend that is now gone.
Oh no. What do you mean?
So,
Me,
oh,
the comics guy. That was so wild.
oh, good job. So, go ahead and take another insight. Actually, you can take a flex on that, by the way.
Okay.
So, good job. No. That's I. It was our particular patron of the arts here on no Prime, at least for my gallery here. Dear Xander Halcyon. He provided so many different. That's so many different unique exhibits to the air. That's like to the viewing pleasure of many. Although they had to prove themselves beforehand. You see an AR display going up with a current decaying that's Noyo marker, which you see for the art. It's like the person who's talking to you is rather high. But again, where are my manners to? I am the curator of this, and I will say, Joe, what's the name of our curator?
The curator is the Mad Elf.
Mad Elf. So, okay. So, though. That's like the Mad Elf. I don't want to say what the conjunction on that would be. That's a little bit uncouth of me. So, but if you want to, you may just call me Elf. So, but but I guess this isn't. It's like what we are seeing right. At least this is what not bringing you here. So, what does bring you to Nova Prime or Nova York?
Work, play,
And what
all
kind
the
of
usual
work?
thing.
Are you artist yourself?
Some have called me that.
Okay, and what kind of particular arts are you enamored with, or?
My young lady, we are in the art of the sale. Of course, this is where we come to make some sales, and so we sell, and then we buy. It's all an art, you would understand, correct?
Oh, so that would it's like is there anything in it that's like anything that particularly catches your eye? Again, remember we trade primarily in reputation, so what you want particularly goes that's like notes right now what you it's like what you are worth personally, so or what you have given to the universe. We have all sorts of different things here, from like AR displays, Erd Ul hollows. We even have a limited supply of Earth artifacts, but those are very very restricted though, due to the sensitive nature.
That might be, but I will be honest. The history of the Earth is a area of interest of mine, and any
really?
artifacts, even what I always say is there's the art of the goal too. If I don't have the reputation right now, just seeing it will give me the goal to get there.
Okay, so with that, all right. So, but you haven't introduced yourself. What is there any information you're trying to pull from her?
I'm trying to pull trying to get what artifacts did she recently have that might have gone, like how often things come and go from the exhibit.
Okay, so for that so you're wanting to see what might be in and what might have gone, or
right under the guise of looking at the different artifacts, and just trying to pepper in how often do you sell things? Anything big sell recently? Anything come in anything that Mr. Some of the high wheelers have purchased that, again, I can look for a goal for. Just trying to see if she has any clue as to the giant coming this way.
Okay, so you're trying to surreptitiously suggest the giant and see if she'll talk about that. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, you're trying to. I'll say that's either a persuade, a deceive, since you're obviously not a buyer for that, or let's see. Let's take a look at that. What knowledge skills do you have?
Black markets, cartels, reclaimers, scavenging, Titan machines, and uplift culture. Nothing of use.
Okay. No, I will actually say black market will be a good roll right now. I will say that if you can do that, that will give you the knowledge to basically state what would be an underhanded, give a underhanded comment on how to mix this to her.
All right, let's see what we can do.
Ours was Chuck.
Oops.
It's not working.
It is not.
Let me check on my side.
Let me just go out of that channel and go back in. Sometimes that helps. We've broken it. We've broken DiceBot. Nothing a little Google thing can't fix. Google says. Roll again. Google says a 22.
A critical success. Good job.
Take
So-
that, little lady.
All right. Okay. So, she just kind of looks at she kind of looks at you for a second. So I would assume that what you're talking about, that's like it sounds like your tastes are more along the lines of, oh, let's see, it's like something of a sideshow attraction.
You could say that, yes.
Maybe we should step aside for a second so I can refresh my drink and we may discuss things a little bit further. So follow me, please. So she points back, and you can see as she's walking forward, a AR path just starts illuminating from her, causing people to back off. And so as she kind of generally steps off towards what looks like a recessed windowed office that's closed off. You can see everything from there, but it's still not. It's obviously private. So,
One spoonful.
alrighty.
Yeah.
There you go.
Isn't it a triangle? I thought she got an 8 for the hand.
Alrighty then. So that being said, is everybody going with her, or is I would say Burke or Pivo? Are you doing something? Or excuse me, Burke or Sava? Are you doing anything else?
Can I look around with security ops just to notice like various like surveillance, alternate exits, off limits areas, stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like I say, you're doing that while your Pivo is going off. All right.
Yeah, I guess I have to.
Wonder why it's not working. Odd.
It came through. I think it's just like lagging for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
16.
All right. You said 16?
16.
16. Okay. That's a superior success. Good job. So you are, as you're looking around, you do see that most of this place has a lot of the general holo recorders, mesh checks right now for what's going on. But you do notice that, and you can't really tell much without actually getting into the system itself for maybe doing a mech hash. But oddly enough, right now there seems to be a lot of that's like a lot of security right now, or not even security, I would say. So that you see that there are particular cameras that are pointed near the infinite egress sculpture in the middle, which it is a mainstay, but also it's a little bit odd just because they had. But it seems not to be pointed directly at it. It seems almost to be pointed towards the ground, like it's monitoring something else. So, and it's you can't really tell. Again, these look like normal holo recorders, but if you could get a closer look at them, or maybe access the mesh and try to get into their systems, you could tell more.
All right.
if you wanted to try to get closer to get a better look at those, I could just continue to schmooze it up with her to see.
Well, you're in the office, so you're closed off from that. So unless you,
see.
Yeah, so you're gonna be alone on that one, unless Burke is going with you, or are you doing something different, Burke? Oh, Joe, you still there? Okay,
He's
so
muted.
all right, so all right.
All right. Yeah, but I'm gonna do other things. So.
Okay. All right. No problem. Then. So, all right. So, Pyro, yeah, you are in the office with the Mad Elf. So she just closes that. It's like sits behind a very ornate wooden desk that actually you would know as an Earth artifact just by the looks of it too. Like this is actual wood. This isn't space wood. This is wood.
I touch it with my arms, like, oh. Does she need like an actual Earth booster seat to be able to sit up at the desk?
No. It's like she actually has something of a more modern seat that kind of raises itself, so it's not that big of an issue.
Was that from Earth too?
No. So this is there, but you see that she gets a little bit more of a serious look on her face. So tell me, what do you know about the giant?
The giants. Well, all I know are just tales that there was an old artifact on Earth that was what was considered a roadside attraction, but people just absolutely loved it. And I guess it turned out to be a fraud later, but that didn't take away any of its cultural or artistic power. And I'm sure, yeah.
No, you're absolutely right, though. It is. So it was something. It was more about the idea that it was than anything else. In particular, the fact that Halcyon described it when he first brought it to Nova York, and in particular my gallery, was that it represented a transformation from him. Basically, he always thought of it as a chrysalis, which is an odd way to put that. It inspired other ideas to make something more whole and great. So that's about this, which is why it saddens me that it is not, at least not in the collection as I see fit. So. Which I feel that it should be to honor his memory, along with the other things he so graciously decided to donate. Donate here as well.
Well, what is in the way? Because clearly Mr. Halcyon would have wanted it here based on, as you said, all the things he has given to this establishment. What is in the way of the giant getting here?
That's one thing in particular that I'm a bit saddened about. In turns, it is primarily that even though I am very well set up here, my Novo did not really reach his level of taste. It's like taste or class, essentially, that we have here on. That's like in the habitat. As you may know, he had his own personal apartment here, but upon his death, his Novo went null and void. So, as did that in the contents of his the contents of his apartment, which the last time I was there months ago, he was proudly displaying the giant. So, with all his admiration, I begged and pleaded with him to be able to bring it over, but he did. Made the decision that it was safer where it was with him. But they've and as of right now, all of his assets are going into auction for Novo, which is why you're also seeing tonight. And she brings up some AR displays showing off the Warhols, who are continuing to make AR replications of the different pieces and destroy them to the amazement and shock of other people. So, as well as another group who they all look like they're either in Sylph or Steel morphs. all look more like French courtesans, so that they are uh, dressed up within there. Uh, well, that's like off to the side. And then one other uh, AR display comes up for the mesh, which looks like a couple of researchers too. So awfully, they look like they are in general splicers. So one of them is a bouncer morph, but they look like they're in deep conversation in front of a couple of the other pieces. I am not the only faction here who is wanting to take. Take this. So, or take advantage of the items in there. You have the war halls, which it seems like you are familiar with them. And so,
Yes, lovely bunch they are.
you have the romantic movement, who are wanting to take pieces. I believe that the pieces there would be something to make their traveling menagerie along the stars. So that's like so perfect. But you also have one of the locals. Unfortunately, I have been in massive conflict over the years. The NPS, the Nova Preservation Society, which I will say right now. What is your general score for what's your knowledge scores again?
Black markets, cartels, reclaimer, scavenging, Titan machines.
Okay. Actually, what's your score in Reclaimer?
Reclaimer 55.
55. All right, it's high enough where you've actually heard of these guys. They are a particular Earth Preservation Society, Artifact Preservation Society located in Nova, who are very much the types of Indiana Jones. It belongs in a museum for everybody to see. So for everybody, it's for the world to enjoy. So they are actually trying to. They believe they're trying to reclaim the Earth artifact for those who can do it. Although Nova going wise, they're kind of the lowest poor artifact on the scene. So these are the three that are attempting to outbid or at least take in turn take out whatever you're acquiring here for what we want. So I would be more in turn to if I could get some assistance here. I may be able to compensate you in a way that could be more helpful.
Well, you saw my two associates that came with me. If you're looking for artists for this particular type of work, they are the finest artists I know. Now, what type of mutual arrangement might we come to?
Well, if you are, I would. That's obviously the artifact is the most important thing to me. If you would want to, I could provide you with in a certain amount of Novo, to be able to reclaim into credit. That's like reputation credit outside of this, or at least a particular slow decaying one that would not be would help probably assist you greatly in your own positions. So, if you would, want to do that.
And keep in mind, I'm tack netting this to all you guys too, so that you're
okay. Yeah, fair enough. So, and if anybody else has suggestions or wants to do something through this to assist with that, so any of these social roles or getting information, let me know.
Yeah. For I am but an octopus flailing around touching wood.
So, but as I said, I have no. I do not have. I can give you the often no for that point, but to get you, but to get you in there too, I can also let you know that he had other artifacts within there that were more. Still worthwhile anybody else's time and could set you. Set you up very nicely. But I would. But I would take the. But the giant would be mine. I would take. Take it in turn. I would have full on ownership of that until the end, and that is non-negotiable.
And one last question: you may have answered this before, but the stuff that's going to be going to auction, did they move that to a location, or is that still all in his penthouse?
Oh no, it would not be going anywhere else too, because that penthouse is now on full security lockdown. So that would be it is securest where it is in public view until the day of auction.
And now for Nova York full security lockdown, what does that entail compared to other full security lockdowns that we may have encountered in the past?
So that would be so I will say, does anybody else have any kind of security ops knowledges?
I do.
Go ahead and make that roll.
All right. That is a ought to.
Ought to. All right, good. So that's a severe success on there. Yeah, you could. It's like knowing from that, just the general building. You also you'll be able to pull up some information through to the general mesh here, since it only took a little bit of work. Yeah, this thing, because the spires in the penthouse, basically there are no elevators. It literally just goes up. So through the railing system, since they can take almost anything they need because of the microgravity. All of that is laced out with a different, it's like all sorts of security system, disassembler swarms. So every kind of nanite scouts that you can kind of think of as well. In addition to having looks at what it looks like a single station guard on each level. And at the top level of it, you don't know how they got it. You don't really want to ask why they got it, but there is somebody in a Reaper morph at the top that is just sitting in front of the door.
It's great when they're just sitting there. That's always a great sign when they just sit there. That's awesome.
So when you had, now you understand, but and you relay to that, the elf looks and says, "Now you understand. I have Noyo here, but I didn't have that much, which means even in a fair auction, that item is far, far outside of my view. So, but were it to disappear, and then it's like reclaimed with forged paperwork, allowing the ownership for to cross back into my territory, my hands, I could make it very worthwhile for you." So,
all right.
So before you go this, remember, you do have a promise to another one, so decisions are going to have to be made.
Yeah, but gotta break a few eggs to make a good
Came
omelet.
back just in time.
Yeah. Okay, good.
All right, so presumably our choice here is who are we going to give this thing to?
So you do, or you can go in certain ways too. Yeah. So you're kind of having to decide what faction you're kind of backing in this situation, or depending on how you can get things for yourself. Because one, the executive that you talk to, she definitely does want the. She definitely does want the giant, but she also knows that there is a. That there is some data on it, and on it that links back to all the rep that Halcyon essentially I was trying to think of the word here too, embezzled from the company. So for their good name. So that might result in having to do something to it to get that data, or maybe not. And the Mad Elf absolutely wants it for her collection. So, as well as the other groups that are going into wanting to do this, because you have, for this one too, and she was bringing it the concern right now. The war halls are there because because they revel in beautiful destruction, which means that they're going to try to get through it and basically potentially destroy it in any way possible. The romantic movement right now is trying to get it for one of their own purposes as well, so they'll have people looking around. And then you also have the Nova Preservation Society, who is acting as the straight people in this situation.
Right. Now, do we know why the romantics might want it? Like, we have a good motive for the others, but what do the romantics want it for? Do we know that yet?
For that baseline, let's see. If do you have any kind of knowledge skills first? Actually, if you want to make a cartels run, or does anybody else? Does anybody have any scum related knowledge skills?
Scum. I don't think so. Scavenging.
Scavenging. You know what? Actually, I will say, if you want to do it, you can either do cartels or scavenging at a -10.
Scavenging at -10.
Okay.
Oh, finally, 18
Yay!
out of 40.
Okay. All right, and if you want to, you can make your cartels roll as well because that will give you different information. So,
All right, sure.
but the scavenging, basically, it's just
17.
looking.
Nice.
17. All right, yep. So you get two things there. So one, the scavenging rights right now is basically it would be a big entry boost for them. So anywhere that they go in this system, if they are registering that they are carrying a rare earth artifact, that would open more port doors for them to be able to dock, have money, and to get supplies. As for the cartels one, that would also be a big bargaining chip in case they were ever attacked. They need to. They could actually have something more notable ones to trade off. It does make them a bigger target, but at the same time, too, it's like the cruise ship that you're going in. A cruise ship there. That's like they might be bigger, but they might want to just preserve it so they can have the boat going around. So, and maybe having other deals that are made on their scum swarm as well to get resources from the cartels. So, just basically having the centerpiece here. So, so they're kind of looking for the three factions right now, or your two benefactors and three factions here. So, the corporate, the Comet Express corporate wants it for the reputation. The elf wants the statue itself. The Warhols want to destroy it. The Romantics want to parade around it, and the NPS are playing Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Seems like our best angle would be to do somehow where we could appease both the hypercore and the artist, because then we could get both payouts.
Okay. So
what do you guys think?
Another way to think about it, though, is that in theory, the scum swarm or the ultimates can help us do this. They can help us get it more than the other ones can. I mean, presumably we have to steal this, so.
Right,
yeah.
Right. What's the best way to steal? Do you think they would be the most helpful?
So, yeah.
Maybe
Scum Swarm can.
Yeah. Go on.
I was going to say they can pretty much go anywhere and do whatever they really want. Pretty independent. If we're looking to get something out of somewhere, that's the way to go.
So you have the decisions of how you're going to use that. So we'll kind of go into your full planning one to see how well you can set this off. I'm going to be right back. So talk amongst yourselves. Make sure to see how you would like to steal this and how you'd like to throw these factions at each other. So be right back.
The thing with the scum swarm is how do we get them on our side to do that?
We haven't talked to them yet. We
right.
Again, we really don't know what they want. So yeah, I mean, now that it comes out of my mouth, though, I mean, obviously the elf has money. We don't necessarily know that these guys have money, and maybe we could do something with the elf's money that like duplicates what we might do if we were to hire a bunch of fascist psychos with guns.
What's wrong with hiring a bunch of fascist psychos with guns?
Well, because there's a lot of psychos with guns we could hire. You could hire a bunch of criminal psychos with guns. You could hire a bunch of anarchist psychos with guns. You could hire a bunch of, Martian communist psychos with guns. There's a ton of psychos with guns out there.
But who are the best psychos with guns to get us that piece of roadside art?
All right, so I guess what we should do when Aaron gets back is try to learn more about these guys. We could either talk to them, or we could pull rep favors to learn about them and see what exactly they can do and how we might benefit from bringing them in on our side.
Yeah, because you're right. They would be
Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, because you're right, they would be a big help to try to break in and get that thing out. It's just a matter of what can we offer them that would make us viable.
Yeah. We would also maybe want to look at the building ourselves, see if there's anything else we can get other than what we were told about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right. Alrighty then. So, all right, I'm back. So, what? All right. So, what are part of the plans you're discussing?
So presumably, go on.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Question number one.
Okay.
This is out of character.
Okay.
What are our plans for this thing? What are we going to do with it? Are we going to turn it over to its quote-unquote rightful owners, or are we going to take it for ourselves, or what?
Well, I mean, I can tell you in character, Pivo is driven by profit above all else. So his optimal state would be to get 2 buyers rather than just 1. So if we could find some way to get whatever information or rep that the hypercore needs from it while still giving it to someone else to get 2 payouts, that's where he's going. Doesn't mean that's where we have to go.
Right.
All right. So I guess the maximum psycho plan for this would be, so we don't necessarily have to do much. I mean, just these are my thoughts. We would have to check these, but to get the ultimates on our side, we presumably don't have to do much of anything other than say we are going to do it. So they can, because they're driven by self-improvement, fighting stuff, desires, and they want to destroy. So we say, we will help you raid this building, and then we will give it to you to destroy. Our actual plan is to photograph or get all the encoded information off the statue, transmit it to the hypercorp, give the actual statue to the elf, and then get the scum swarm to take care of the ultimates for us.
That's a lot of balls in the air, man.
And
Burke is on board because that sounds like the craziest ass plan, even to her.
yeah, and we could also obviously do less psycho versions of this plan, but
well, no, but we don't have to limit our psychoness. I mean, the more psycho, the more pay. So
I mean, so the biggest, I mean, I can't even believe I'm saying this. The biggest problem, quote unquote, is going to be getting all the encoding information off of it, because you're going to have to bring a bunch of equipment to like fully scan it and probably scan like the inside, because we don't know that the encoded information isn't like inside of it or like a part of its structure or something.
right.
So-
like, what equipment would we actually need to scan it? Do we know?
For that, I will say, since you do, or actually scavenging. Let's see, Joe. What was your scavenging roll again?
Scavenging roll was an 18.
8. Sorry, no. I was gonna say what's your actual.
The actual skill.
Yeah.
That is scavenging 50.
50.
And just so you know, mine is 80.
You're 80.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. All right, so I would actually say that general knowledge right now for what that is, it actually wouldn't take as much for the gear right now, and if you take it, that usually would just be basically, let's see, where am I looking on that? All right, let's see. For that right now, that actually wouldn't take too much. That's basically more just being able to get at that information is primarily just needing a storage. If you can actually get to it, is a storage device. If it actually is connected to the mesh right now. So basically, the only problems that you would probably encounter is that if it's somehow inside the giant and has been sealed up, you would need something to drill into that or to basically do it without really damaging it as much is the problem. So basically, just I would say it's a general scanning tool there, or just a general base. So which it would not actually take down there. I would say where was that? Trying to look through all the gear again. So that would be basically just it's like just a general it's like a science tool, which I won't say that's actually too much, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. It's basically just getting tools to be able to break into it or to without it destroying it would be the big part of that as well. So
Right.
it's what you would have to go for.
Right. And the other thing is, how do we get it out while our plan is to try to get it out while the Ultimates are fighting on our behalf?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, which
it's not a lot of
okay,
window
so
for us.
I guess the Ultimates, they would want to remove it from the building as well, right? Because they want to destroy it in public. They do not want to.
Yeah, that is a thing of it. So
destroying it.
Absolutely. So they are XP enthusiasts. They want to show their work to the world. So so that's gonna be a potential convincing them not to do that or figuring out a way to bypass that in some way.
Well, if we go in on a plan with them and say, hey, you do the muscle work, we'll get it out and we'll rendezvous at this location. Do you think they would go for that?
That would be deception or deception checks, absolutely, to try to do that. So, but you have to get it good with them first. So, or provide something to them right now that might actually that pique their interest as well. So, because I could say if you want to do research and figure out something that they might want to destroy and provide that off to the side, that could potentially give you bonuses to deception or persuade.
Okay.
All right.
As does the dog. So.
All right. So, do we see any areas that are like off to the side that are not being surveilled enough that we could?
Within the gallery itself.
Yeah.
Let's see. I would say go ahead and make a perceive check.
All right. All right, I failed that.
Okay, so if anybody else wants to make those, you can technically, let's see, black market. I would also allow just find things that might be worth more to them, or things that would happen. So just to kind of look to see.
Okay.
Excuse me.
17 out of 65 for black
17
market.
out of 65. Excellent. So, yeah, you notice one thing off to the corner. Let's see, it is a replication of let's see. Actually, it is a that's actually a very odd thing right now. It is a nanite that's of produced replication of Monet's water lilies. But it is set in such a way where the nanites actually move across, basically move in a way where it looks like the Impressionist painting and the water on it is actually moving, and that the lilies are actually circling on there as well. That's very well known piece here for replication here. That's probably, you don't know if it is a particular copy or not of that because but it's honestly a very good. It would be a very good target, especially for somebody at the Warhols to look at and go, "Ugh, Impressionist, you know nothing about how art is supposed to be momentary." So they would have. So that would probably be a very tempting target as well. Unfortunately, again, it is under guard too, particularly in the fact that it actually, it's like that you actually, when you look at that, so when you're looking around there, it probably has some security settings there. They would either be, I'll say right now, you actually see nano detectors around, specifically to note when it's being moved from its place. So, if you could make some way to get that out of there, without being seen, then that might actually that could be a good offering to the Warhols. And I will say, Pivo, that your meeting with the Mad Elf is done. She needs to go socialize with a couple other patrons. So this is where you can try to put in this plan if you want to.
Okay. All right.
All right. So if we don't have anything to get around a nano swarm.
Well, it's a nano. It's not. Yeah, it's basically collected on there too. So if you can figure out ways, because if you have hacking, if you have the ability to try to interface that there, or go with the security system to confuse it, right now those are always options.
Anyone have a really good infosec skill?
Let's take a look here.
Infosec skill. Does anyone have anything better than that?
Just 50.
50, yeah.
All right. I will spend my second point of insight to get plus 20, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And I will make that roll.
Okay.
To disable security measures.
Okay. So that will be opposed.
I get an odd 8.
Odd 8. Good. Okay. Let's see.
Go.
All right. All right. But you were lucky though. They failed that one, so you are actually in the system right now. So you are currently undetected. So you do see the systems. So you can research a little bit right now. You are seeing. You do see where the nano detector control is. It is a. Excuse me. Or that not a complex action. But it will continue on. So with your actions to be able to get in there. So 1 second. So if you're one, so it'll as of right now they are not sensing you, but to so you can continue to basically hack into it to just surreptitiously shut those down and to make sure that you don't. It's like as of right now you don't get anything else, but that will. You'll have to continue doing that as a task action for the next 2 turns. So, if you want, and any failure right now on that will allow the system to make a roll to sense you. So, but anybody else, I'll say that if you want to, if you have an infosec, you can actually give a plus 20 to him if you want to assist with that roll.
Yep, I'll assist with that.
Okay.
Can I also assist?
Just 1 assist per. So
One
if you want
assist
to do,
per. Okay.
so if you want to do something else during the time to create an advantage, so that might be helpful.
Let's see here. Something else to create an advantage for infosec, right?
Well, you can you can do it for the infosec, or you can try to pull up other information as well too, because the romantic movement is still there, as well as the NPS. So you could try to gather information from them or figure out something through your own skills.
How about knowledge security ops?
Absolutely. Go ahead and make that roll.
All right. See what kind of security would be in place for something like this.
Okay.
57 out of 70.
57 out of 70. So, all right. You notice that one of the thing, absolutely, like the nanodetectors are a big thing with this as well, but also that the system itself has a emergency switch setting that in the event of in the event of a particular emergency, where say that somebody was attacking or that's like there was a fire breaking out. Actually, thank you. A fire breaking out. It actually is set to shut down all ambient AR displays in order to make sure that everybody can clearly see where the exits are. And because of the agreements that were made in the system, when people are entering into the infinite egress, that means that the romantic movements AR displays, which actually have been masking their physical identities of their morphs, are there. So So if you shut that down, that can cause enough chaos where everybody's leaving. You know they're not, that's like they will probably try not to. We'll probably have to go outside, out of in hiding for a little while because they're worried about their identities being seen, and that could give a distraction while you try to pull the Monet out, or the nano Monet. Sorry, I meant to call it that.
Nano Monet. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. That's pretty useful. I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so I will say that you got such a good job on that. So although to access that, that will probably for that's an emergency situation right now. So I'm gonna have to say that will be in. What's your infosec at, Joe?
My infosec is at 50.
At 50? Okay. That will require an infosec roll to be able to at least prime it, since you already have an access through Pivo. So.
All right. This is we're getting towards Moxie time, boys, or Flex, I guess it's called now.
Yep.
Oh, good God. That's a 98.
Okay, that's not a critical failure. So, but
can you still re-roll with that, or
absolutely?
not?
Yes, you can. So if you want to spend your flex,
yeah,
you
I'm
can
going to
re-roll.
spend a flex to re-roll. Ooh,
Okay.
Actually, I have that point of insight you gave me earlier, and that's for cognitive and.
Absolutely, you can use it for that.
So I'm gonna use that instead. 26. Okay.
26. That's much better. So you don't have to have an opposed because you have an in right now. So that's
Cool.
basically just primed right now. So when you want to pull it, it's ready. So, all right. Back to the hacking. So what was our assist roll? Did you manage to get that?
Let me roll it right now.
Well, I was going to say it for Ryan. Did
For
you
Ryan, I'm sorry.
I was making sure he made his assist roll. Are you still there, or is he? He may be taking a break for a second. So let me see if he rolled it in this.
He's muted.
No, yeah. So he might be gone for a second.
He said he'd be right back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So never mind then. I will. Oh, yeah. I just see that in there. So all right. So go ahead. I will actually say that for that. For the assist roll right now, too, I'll go ahead since he's out there. Plus 20. All right, you actually have your plus 20, so go ahead, roll for that. So you can go ahead and make your hacking roll at plus 20.
Let me try something. 23.
23. All right. So that's still a success. You were not detected, so you didn't have to worry about any opposed checks on there. One more check, and that will be set there. So, all right. So that Reiner's it back. Okay,
Yes.
you are back. Okay, so all right. So Pivo just completed their second check. Burke has been able to go ahead and set up an emergency AR shutoff.
All right.
That will basically cause a fire, essentially a fire alarm emergency that will force everybody else out. But that is also going to potentially give you an advantage, since that will also because the agreements that will shut off the AR masks of the romantic movement. So you can actually clearly ID morphs and get information on them that might be useful later on.
All right.
So, so if you have a skill that could probably possibly identify that, or help you take that information. So I will say for perceive, or if you have another particular knowledge skill that will assist in this.
I guess I could roll perceive.
Okay, so yeah, that information is there for it. So go ahead.
Yeah. All right. The 42 success.
42 success. All right. Yep. So you're set on there to basically get this out as needed. So for this. All right. 5-0. One last roll. That's and keeping your bonus as well.
Okay. That was a 93, but I can spend a point a flex to flip that, so I will.
You probably will.
Hooray.
So 39. So yeah, that would have been bad. All right. So you successfully disengage the nanodetectors, so they will not. So they will not pick up that the painting is being moved. So this. Well, in this case, right now, it's going to be a bit of a panic to get out to once you know that this happens in here. So I'm going to say if you want to get the, let's see, what was it? So to get the painting out, Fred, that's going to be an athletics skill to be able to move from there. And I'm going to say for the other two, since you're running cover, so you can decide who does what. I'm going to say that that's going to require. What stealth was in here as a
Infiltration is in here.
It's infiltration, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
Infiltrate. So, all right. So I'll reverse that. So this will basically be infiltrate for one person to basically go forward and make sure that nobody else is able to. That's like to be able to see you taking the painting out. But also athletics for the other two to get it out, since it is a pretty big panel.
All right. I have pretty high scores in both of those.
Okay.
I guess, is anyone particularly bad at one or the other?
No, athletics is 45, infiltrate's 70 with this morph. So
All right.
Okay.
So why don't Pivo, you make infiltrate, and the two of us will make athletics.
Yeah, that sounds good.
okay.
Okay, let's get
Let's
in there and hit
see.
this thing.
Okay. So first off, yeah, go ahead and make the infiltrate. Ryan, make your infiltrate check.
All right. That is a 59 out of 70.
All right, so that succeeds. You're not going to be able to see that. So go ahead and make the athletics checks then.
40 even.
All right,
It's a
so on the dot.
success.
Okay, on the
Yeah.
dot.
28
Okay.
out of 55.
48 of 55. All right, good job. So the scene, that's as you're partying around, you go in, the ARs go dead, everybody starts looking around shocked. You can actually see the romantics trying to cover up their faces immediately. They're seeing there, but your sharp eyes have are good. You can actually catch her out now, and you commit it to XP. So you have that as you absolutely have that as blackmail material if you need it and such. So you rush out. You manage to rush that out of the door itself. You actually see some emergency exits have opened up on the other side of the wormhole entrance, so people can get out because this is the future, but safety exits are always a thing. So as you're getting through, and you manage to slip the Nano Monet by the guards. So as you exit out of here and wrap it up enough as you bounce back towards your safe house. So congratulations, you've stolen from an art gallery and gained two assets out of that. One of those is the nano water lilies. To be able to bargain with the Warhols, and also the blackmail material of the actual morph, the current morphs of the romantic movement.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Awesome job, guys. We stole art.
We stole art. I've stolen art before, but never this successfully or without any damage to the piece.
This is where I accidentally drop it. Like, oh shit.
There goes my streak.
Okay.
Streak of one.
All right. So that being the case, you're kind of safe for the moment. Not there. That did take all. That's like all night for this. So you're gonna have to rest up for the next day. Before making contact, and your timetable is a bit accelerated because the fact that the auction is this next evening. So if you're going to try to get what you need to, you're gonna have to make your planning very quick to do that. So how are you? What are your plans to contact your two groups to be able to get your assets or resources?
Well, the piece is for the pieces for the war halls, right?
Well, the art
Right.
pieces for the Warhol. So it's basically since you don't really have a lot of good persuade or options right now. This is
Right.
kind
So
of
we're
an
just
auto.
buying them. Yeah.
This is an auto
Right.
in for them to be able to do this.
But to leave them holding the bag to help them break in so we can steal a second art piece and then leave them holding the bag and then calling the scum swarm in to try and take care of a group of ultimates.
There's absolutely nothing wrong that can go with this plan.
No, not at all.
So like, give it straight right now. Your idea for this is to be able to just make sure I have this correct. To get the XP so they can, so the Warhols can destroy this and then act as a distraction, but then send in the Romantics to basically start a gang war with them.
Right. I thought the plan was to get the Warhols to be a bigger part of our muscle, using this piece of art as payment that they can destroy after the fact. They do the big part of the muscle for us so that we can get in to reclaim that artifact.
That's true. So yeah, they're acting as for that. That would be a high distraction among the other things. So
Right.
I'll say that. And the Romantics. So if I did, they are basically another resource here. So that they are more on the LinkedIn social side of it. So if you are wanting to get any information, particularly any information that was not provided by the Mad Elf, or you weren't able to glean from the art over at the Eternal Wormhole, you would be able. That's like they may provide from that, or you could send them in as a further distraction, as we do the space variant of West Side Story, I guess. With
Maybe in that case, then no,
because
I
the
don't know.
because part of that, or the reputation, is that they like again they are very public, they are very outgoing. However, they are not. That's like the hiding of their faces is paramount in whatever morph they are. So if anybody knows what their current version is, it ruins the mystique for them.
So maybe we want more information on the building from them then. And is there a security force for the city?
No, they are part of the Scum Swarm. But they are information
No,
broker.
I mean, does Nova York have like a police force?
Yes, it does. So it is more of a basic, just a like basic security force that goes around the city too. They are not like heavily fortified, but they do generally keep the peace. Most of it's like most of the higher end security is like what you saw outside of the art gallery, and that they're hired. Well, it's like hired on a person to person basis. So, and also knowing if the Noyo runs out from them, they're not going to want to do anything.
Right. So, do we think the Scum Swarm would have pretty valuable intel, at least on the building itself, that we could use to our advantage? Just anything to give us a leg up.
So there's a definite possibility too, because they are again known as information brokers on their side, from going side to side, as well as the traveling art gallery. So if you were to utilize that for negotiations, they might have something that could be useful to you. But you would have to make contact with them first and make them very aware that you have something that they would want.
Should we set up a simul space meeting with them and then make like our own little painting with their real images on it? Like what we know.
I mean, except that they can change them.
They can change them, but that also requires traveling back, getting morph right now. And these are art pieces that are meant to go for essentially these are incredibly vain scummers.
Again, out of character, I would say that doesn't seem blackmailing them into helping us kill some dudes who will probably be trying to kill us. Will we double cross them? Might not be the best strategy. In character, Burke is all about it. Yeah,
Well,
let's blackmail him.
I think our strategy right now is to use them to get more information about the building itself, rather than as fun as the West Side Story gang war sounds right now.
Yeah, I guess maybe we could. Yeah, it's just a matter of like dealing with them once we have the thing out of the building. I don't know. Would we be able to? Do we have enough time at this point to like call in favors from people who might be around?
Absolutely.
Who
No,
would be
if you
willing to fight them.
absolutely yes, you would. No, you absolutely do have that. So as an option. So
yeah, I think favors are the way to go here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's call in people to help us deal with them. Let's get the information from the scum swarm, and let's trade the Monet to get the ultimates on our side, and then double cross them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all right, so for that one, you're trading in favors to basically put out a casting call for gang war street fighters. So on that, who are going to be part of the Ultimates performance after they destroy the Monet. So,
are we going to need some? We're going to need some type of getaway vehicle, right? Even though it's low G, we're going to need something to transport the.
Yeah.
Yes, no, that's probably going to be the best right now for that. Just in order for you to be able to do that. So, do any of you have pilot?
I do.
Pilot air at 65.
All right, you are the pilot.
Yep. So you'd have to get that something as well. So, all right. So yeah. So let's start right now, just for that as well. That would, in order to do that, I'll say contacts. You can let's see. What was it? Who? I believe Pivo, you had the cartel contacts.
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead and make a cartels roll to see if you can find somebody who would be able to provide that to you. And let me know what you get, because that will determine the rep.
Let's see. I got a 4.
A 4? Okay, excellent. Yep. So, spirit success. All right, so you managed to get to one of your local contacts that's not on the station, which is a bit rare. Who is the name of this contact that you're getting a hold of?
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown. So, Bobby Brown sitting there going like, yeah, man, what am I gonna get you? So, but. And he is incredibly musical. So he just has a very sing-song voice.
Bobby, you're a piece of shit, but I'll take the ride.
I know. So we'll do that. And just because the fact that you are such a wonderful piece of shit, I'm gonna let you actually have this at a more discount because I trust you. So that means that for your favors, that is actually only going to cost 1 additional mild outside of what you've already spent. So have you already spent 1, or have you spent 2?
I spent 1.
Spent 1. Okay,
that'll be number 2.
All right. So if you succeed on this one, it's only going to cost you 1 more extra since you're going on the Noyo exchange rate. So so go ahead and make that roll.
And that would be a G rep roll again, correct?
That's G rep roll. Yes.
Okay. Well, that was close. 49 out of 50.
Ugh, man. This sounds like a really bad thing, but no, it's I like you. So, but all right, so you do get it. You do have a transport that will be able to get you from into where you need to go.
That's good.
So, but you do need. But yes, it was. But you do have to spend all the remaining 2 of your reps on there for the milds. So.
Okay.
And do that for the exchange rate. So you have the car. All right. So next on that point, are you going to make contact with the romantics or the romantic movement, or talk to the the Warhols next?
I would like to roll mercenary groups to find guys to fight.
Oh, the mercenary groups.
And then call them in as a favor.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and do that. So go ahead and make your roll to see if you can get in contact with them.
All right, I will spend 1 flex to flip and get a odd 5.
An odd 5. Okay, so that's a superior success on there. So you do that. What is the name of your mercenary group on on keep saying Nova Prime, Nova York?
New York.
Nova Jack City.
Jack City. Okay. So go ahead and get an extra flex for that. So you have the NVJ, so or the NJC. So that they're pretty. It's like pretty rough, but again, the more artistic. They're actually way more known. Since this is art right now, they actually have legal permits for it's like temporary nano tags around the city. So to be able to do really good murals right now, they can actually shift and change, and then move on to the next one as soon as the Noyo currency is run out on that particular wall. So they actually it seems like a criminal one, a mercenary one, but they're leasing on the side. But yeah, they state that hey, well, we've heard of the war halls before, and if we could actually show them up on a particular high-rise building, something that everybody could see, that would be huge. So you know what? Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that there as well. So what is your criminal score?
I'm only at like 20 for G-Rep.
You're only at 20 for G-Rep? Okay. Let's see on that. Does anybody else I would say, well, for that, Burke, what is your G-Rep?
G-Rep's pretty good. It's 50.
50? Okay. Go ahead and make a roll and spend one.
Sure. 96. No one likes the Burke here. I'm gonna spend a flex and reroll it.
Okay, that's good. So no worries.
I only have one flex left, fellas. Oh no! I rolled the same number.
Okay. All right. No worries then. So we'll do that. All right. So the only thing that changes on that is that if you roll this, it's just going to go to a moderate favor. So you're gonna have to spend all the way to
moderate favor in.
Oh no, this will be for Ryan. Sorry. So
I'm sorry.
I apologize. I was going to see if you could help out with the negotiations, but Burke was just not up to it today, and I hope Burke doesn't listen to this because he's just going to kill me. So.
I burned the moderate favor.
He's probably listening right now.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I think we've used the Burke pre-gen before.
All right, so go ahead and make your roll, Ryan. And if you don't get under 20, then it just goes up to a moderate favor.
All right. I do not pass, so that is, I guess, my moderate favor.
Okay, yeah. So it's going through there, and that means that you might be a little more beholden the next time you come to Nova York. So just watch out there. But all right, so they said, yeah, I'm not really trusting you that much, but we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. But I'm not going to let the war halls upstate. Just fuck that. So all right. So you have your fight particularly set. So now, Burke, it's the last thing with you. So. It's like you make contact over the mesh with the leader of the war halls, so I will let you name that leader. So who would what was the name of the leader of the war halls?
I mean, Andy.
Just Andy. Okay. just Andy.
The Andy.
The Andy. Okay. There we go. So yeah.
God, Andy Warhol.
Maybe so but yeah, I like that, like the Andy. So you meet him at one of the local one of the local bars. It is actually it primarily is an uplift bar because I just can't stand all just the two legs anymore. I'm probably going to switch out here pretty soon, because it's just getting old right now. I don't know. So, but I saw you at the gallery before the fire alarm was pulled and all that bullshit. What do you? That's like, what do you want with me today? Are you wanting to Are you wanting to show how bad you are? It's like how you can break for art.
Well, I mean, we have this cool painting that you guys could break, maybe.
So.
And we want your help breaking some other art.
Did you take that from the elf's personal collection?
Where else would you get it, man?
He actually takes a look. May I? And just takes.
I mean, don't break it yet. Not till the deal is done, but sure.
Oh no, we wouldn't. That's like wouldn't dream of that. So we might be artists of destruction, but we're fair businessmen. So he takes a look. He's just staring at it intently, probably for the next minute until he looks up. He goes, "Oh, more interesting than I thought." So that's like I assume this is going to take a king's bounty in Noyo to to be able to set this wondrous moving piece on fire to show the true transition of life.
No, it'll just require a loud, noisy, really friggin' awesomely fun break-in distraction.
Where exactly would that be?
I mean, it's where we think the other thing is.
So, all right. So you do see that glimpse right now. Oh, that. So you're wanting us to crash the. It's like the bride. It's like crash the pre-auction of the late great Mr. Halcyon, and make an example of this and all of the other corporate degenerates who think that their continued existence means something in this world, in this universe.
Yeah, man, whatever floats your boat. We just want you to go in there and really like fuck shit up. This is what we're looking for for this painting. And yeah, and just kind of hang around until we give you the all clear, and you guys can bounce or do whatever after that. That's on you.
Okay. I think we have a deal, and I think we have a wondrous deal here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to urinate on this before, in order to prep it for its ascension into the universe. So, and he turns around and walks away with it.
Cool. If you film that, you could claim it's art and then destroy it later.
It's already done.
Oh, all right.
Damn, he's fast.
They're XP artists, so yeah. So you already see something on the mesh going like special acquisition to, and a large filter has been put over it to hide it. So, but
okay, I was gonna say though, we better move fast then.
Yeah, no. So all the pieces are assembled. Good job. Before you do this, is there any other equipment or other things that you would like to get it before trying to make this go through the job?
We wanted to contact the romantic movement and try to get information on the building, right?
Okay, so yes, so you can do that if you want. Let's see, who's making that call?
I suppose I will.
Okay. So you get a hold of the subswarm here. The scum IDs there, so they actually went. That's like they are staying in a local, very high-end hotel since they're not traveling back and forth to the swarm itself. Let's see, who? Actually, I'm going to name this one. I just need to find the name. Yes. There we go. So you get a hold of Rossetti. So is the main contact that you get. He does recognize your mesh credentials for the previous night when you were over the wormhole. Says, "Oh, it's wonderful to hear from you. I will say that this is actually a simul space that he's decided to meet you in, which is absolutely. It looks like it's just Versailles that he's around. So." When he's going through the gardens out there, he's sitting there with a cane. He has a elaborate feathered mask over here. So, another admirer of the arts right now. Good to see you right now. Is there some...
I was just I just had a question. Where did you guys get your morphs?
And I pull up a picture of them pull up the footage of them without the AR on the.
Okay, so you're trying to get the reaction of them. What's your provoke score?
Shit. I
what is
will
that?
have to go at base, so I will spend my 1 moxie.
Well, hold on just for a second. So what's the base on the provoke?
I have 15 for provoke.
15.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna do a random roll here because you do have evidence there.
Yeah.
That's going to add a plus 40 to your base. So.
Oh. I'll spend the moxie anyway because I'm
Okay.
needing it. And I'll get an extra plus 20 on that.
Oh, that's absolutely fine. So, all right.
So that's. I somehow failed that.
Oof.
How much did you fail by?
Just by 9.
9. Do you have any flex?
I do.
Okay, so that can be spent if you want to, because he's looking really angry. Like, there are consequences to this. You can continue that going, but you will be at a disadvantage. So that's your choice.
Well, let's keep going. I won't spend it.
Okay, so you want to spend it? He looks around. I don't know what got where you decided to take that XP of our escape from that evening's festivities. But I can allow you to know. I can let you know that we don't really go well with idle threats, and if you decide to release that endpoint, I will go ahead and release a counterpiece right now that will just devastate your reputation among the main systems. And if you would like to walk around Mars without being refused every service on the planet, I suggest you hand that over now. So he is trying another attack on you. So for a social. So I would say that this, let's see, for right now, that's opposed. So it's basically his provoke against your will to resist.
Okay. Alrighty. I pass. Will 28.
All right. What's your score?
Wait, will times 3.
Will times 3. Yes.
All right, my will times 3 is 45.
45. Yep. And what? Is that what you rolled, or is that what your score is?
I rolled a 28.
You rolled a 28. Okay, and he rolled a 27. So he is. You actually got closer to what your number is. So good job, just barely. You stare him down just with the dare me approach. So, and when the minute that he sees that fail, he kind of goes, okay, I can see that I am not dealing with somebody else who. It's like we'll take idle threat that will not throw around any kind of idle threats. So I might be willing to bargain in this situation just slightly. What do you want?
All right, I guess we're dropping the facades. So I'd like
That
to
seems
know.
a good idea.
I'd like to know anything more private about the building that the. I'd like to know about the building that Xander Halcyon was staying. Interesting facts.
What? What the devil do you want with that?
He wasn't the only one there, right? There are various interesting things that I require.
Oh, so he turns around with it. There's only there are a lot of other art pieces up there that we would want here. So in this case, although I can assume what you're probably actually going for. So, and he taps his cane twice, and you do see what looks an image of the giant standing before. It's like, look, I may be willing to let this go, as unfortunately we were going through this entire mess to clean. That's for a clean rule, but so for a crown jewel of our consideration, but it's like I really don't. It's like I cannot have this information getting out at least this season. of any point right here. I will allow that's like some information that we have found about the security of the building, or at least other ways to get in without being seen. But that's like by the nanoswarms that are guarding it. But you, that's like will have to acquire certain things for me in order to that's like in order to be able to assuage my concerns.
As I said, that can be arranged.
So, well, and he gives you a list of other things. You notice that most of it is smaller ticket items too. So, so if you would if you want to agree with that, you can. If you want to deceive him and just lie and say you will, you could try to do that as well. So, but that means that you're gonna have to do this, or else you have the potential of it's like a major swarm. But it's like blacklisting you and
We'll do it
causing
for
a
him.
lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'll handle it personally.
Okay.
I
So,
think that-
all right. So he provides you a list of this. Usually, you actually see that a lot of those, oddly enough, are P.T. Barnum circus flyers. That's a big thing for him, apparently. So there's something else within the collection. So those will be needed to grab. So if he's going to give this information, but he tells I will allow a drop. I will specify a drop-off spot along with the recordings. That's with recordings of the XP on a download on physical media, and I expect that to be deleted. If not, there are consequences.
All right.
Do you understand?
Understood.
Okay. So taps his cane twice, and you're out of the symbol space. So, all right. Okay. But as soon as you do that, you get a mesh. Your Muse gets a message over the mesh, stating the access codes and for the at least several of the dissimilar swarms that are going through,
Okay.
as well as a alternative. That's a alternative jump point, rail point that is used primarily by that's like by the cleaning staff here at this main penthouse. So so you can get in there a little bit more quietly as you're going up.
All right. Cool.
All right. So you have pretty much all the things that you have set up right now. Are there any other resources or other things that you want to try to get before you enact your plan?
Hmm.
I gotta say, this is a bananas plan.
And hey, it just might work.
So, well, and I will explain it this way too: that for getting into the building here, you've basically presented yourself with a large amount of bonuses. So, because of what you're doing, otherwise it would be incredibly difficult, depending on what you were trying to do. So, that is the main benefit of what this is providing you at the moment. So, but this is kind of basically taking any other things that you would want to during this time is basically what we're kind of looking at.
Right.
I'm feeling reasonably good about the stuff I have.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm out of favors anyway, so what I got is what I got.
All right.
I don't know. I just feel like there's got to be something else. I'm trying to figure out what it might be.
Okay. So, like I said, it could
if
be.
you guys have like your bigger favors open, see if we can get like maybe some more heavy weaponry, since we know that there is a Reaper morph at the top of the building.
Yeah.
That is true. So you can try to opt for that too. Although, like part of the plan is that that the big gang fight is something to distract from that. So. So that could be a possibility for it. But yeah, if you want to try to do one more contact, I will say that is. Let's take a look. For that, definitely either a G-Rep option would be there for a general criminal. for that. Or I will say, if you do have some hypercore, you might be able to convince somebody, maybe your benefactor, to help you out on that end. But that will be up to you. So that's the only thing I can really suggest.
I probably can't manage it. So.
Okay.
Neither of you have it. Let's just roll.
I don't have hypercore. Let's see. Who do I have? I've got IREP and ATREP.
Okay. Oh, you have IRAP, so
yeah, I don't want to tap. I mean, we don't know that it's firewall related, so I don't want to use that.
that's you don't want to use that in turn.
Burke thinks firewall may be a little better. Maybe it's
Okay.
a little important.
Okay. Fair enough. So, all right then. So yeah, the weapons you'll have are what they are. Although you will have the equipment to kind of take out there. Actually, if you want to, if nobody else has that, I meant to say this beforehand, but if you want to have a disassembler swarm, to carry, in order to be able to get into the giant if necessary and then repair it, that's completely an option. So I will allow that for free.
Okay.
So
For free or for a rep spend?
for free.
Oh
So-
man. We probably shouldn't take it. Man, I'm just very suspicious about anything in a horror game that gets offered to me for free.
You've been played with me too many times. So, all right. So, but yeah, if you have nothing else there, so you can enact the plan. Who is going into the building? Who is acting as wheel person?
Well, we need Burke. You're the one with the flying, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be the wheelman or wheel woman.
Okay.
Wheel robot.
All right. So yeah, it is a penthouse suite, so it is up on the 153rd floor. So pretty tall. The building itself right now, it just looks like a large curling spire that looks less like it was actually built up from the ground, but it was molded.
Is it curling around like a central point, or like a central pillar, an imaginary one, or is it curling like along the curve of the honeycomb?
It's curling in the center on a center pillar, so it's in the center of town. So
Cool.
It's one of the highest structures out over there. But currently, yeah, it definitely has a lot of stuff there. There are honeycombed windows through the side that have nanofabricated windows that can be blacked out at any given point. Along this area, but you do know the floor that it's on. Basically, it's just once you would reach up by the main shafts, it would go through there. So you have once you reach up to the top, it's going to basically take anything else out to be concerned. So all right, but yeah, so you're gonna there. So I'm gonna go ahead and have you do a piloting check to be able to get into position.
Radical.
Because there is there's it's a penthouse, so there's always a balcony.
99. 99. I have to spend my last flex to reroll that. Well, wait. That is
no. It's a critical failure, so you can spend it, but that will degrade it to you can revert it to a regular failure. So you can leave it as such, or you can save that flex for something else.
It's a critical failure, Aaron.
It is up to you. So
so what is pilot based on? Is that vigor?
Let me see.
Yes, it is vigor based.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
then I'm going to spend one of my free vigor points. I have 3 of them. I'm going to spend 1 instead of flex to degrade that to a normal failure, and I cannot spend again, correct?
No, you cannot. So that's just a normal failure.
All right.
All right. So So basically, what this means now is that during the turn right now, you can't your Bobby Brown unfortunately kind of screwed you over slightly. So for what it is,
God damn it, Bobby!
it's not starting up right now in the moment. So you're gonna need basically you're gonna have to stay down there and fix it, and then make a good piloting check to see if you can get up. So you're behind on the plan right now, unfortunately. So we'll get back to you.
Get a bad motivator.
I would give you another flex, but I can't. I already gave you one, so I'm not
It's
gonna.
fine. I just kick it real hard.
All right. No, fully loaded. All right. So Pivo and
Ava.
Parvo, you are at the back entrance, just waiting for the the show to start, so you can kind of hear at the entrance where you need to go into it. I'll say everybody sees this right now. It's pretty quiet because it's normally in the evening. You see some people that are starting to gather around to get into the building right now to what would be the auction itself for Halcyon's artifacts. People in very nice attire or painted up synthmorphs. But then you hear down the road, just coming down, what sounds like just loudspeakers of the most shrill, ungodly, horrible music coming down. When as soon as it's close, you realize that it's bagpipes. And at the front of it, you see that what's happening is that it is the Warhols being led by the Andy. So, who is flanked on either side by bagpipe players that are shooting AR flame out of them, as he's holding the Nano Monet in digital triumph, circling around. And professing how the art world. It's like how art has become static even in its digital movement in physical medium, and keeps professing his one as he starts to break it physically, and actually takes a disassembler swarm and just lets it go to town, as somehow it's causing the painting to shriek. You don't know how he did that, but it's doing it. So
It's speaking to us.
yeah. So half of the crowd is immediately enamored. Half of the other one is just shocked because they see a classic being destroyed. But it's about that time that behind them, you see what looks like the. So for Novajack City, they start rappelling down from other sides of the skyscrapers, using the microgravity to their advantage, and start using nano sprays to create their tags going up and down the building. So, declaring how it's like this is the true creativity of it's like a permanent impermanence. So of seeing it one instance and then going the next for it changing. This immediately angers the Warhols, and it is on between every one of them. And that's no longer, and you have actual rampage being set along with augmented rampage. So you have your distraction. Good job. So, all right. So to get up.
I gestured to Sava. Now this is art right here.
All right. So for
what it is great.
So because you have all these resources, you are now rolling at a plus 50 on infiltrate.
Sweet.
Nice.
So you have done a good job getting up there. So, and because of that, so this will basically allow, and this is also in conjunction with what the plans that you were given. So this is how you get around the disassembler swarms through codes and just avoidance. So go ahead and make your rolls.
I get a 12. With bonuses, I basically have like an 120 skill. I could only fail.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So that's you literally worked and planned for this, so this is not a problem.
Yeah, I got an 80, but that's again with all the bonuses. It's
all right. So there's no problem. You just ascend up fully right now. The entire building is on it's like on a high lockdown, as you hear just general chaos approaching outside. And let's see, where was the last one? Because of all this, we're going to do one particular roll. So let's see. Forget there's no other luck checks here. So we're gonna. So as you get up there, you do see that the Reaper morph is there. So, but it absolutely is. When you get up to the site, essentially the access tunnel takes you right into what would be the foyer of the. That's like of Halcyon's penthouse, and you can see it looking out one of the balconies towards all the destruction that's going on downstairs. So this will be so as long as you continue to make your infiltrate checks, that will absolutely work. But if there's noise or if there's something else that fails, that because critical failures can put this in too, it will gain your attention. So you have to be incredibly careful. So
Okay.
So at this point, you've used part of that up, so it's going to go down to a plus 40 now for the infiltrate. So go ahead and make another one.
All right. 18.
18?
Yeah.
Okay.
81. So I'm going to flip that, please.
Okay. If you have that, so 18, 18. All right. So yeah, you do manage to get that back up. You do see that. So as you're getting in there, you do see the rounded out area. The penthouse is less, more separated rooms and just almost one large area, like a mega studio apartment, if you can imagine, that just kind of looks out over everything. But it looks like it was just carved out of melted stone. It's beautiful. And in the center of it, they do have. That's like you do see the Cardiff Giant. It is actually fairly impressive for the piece that it is. That's standing there. It's like propped up. It does look a little bit odd though, because the way that they have it, it's not standing straight up. It looks like it's laying on a table that looks oddly familiar, but you can't really kind of put your finger on it too, just because it's far more ornate than just a regular stand. Let me take a look and see. So, but you can't. Let's see. Do either of you have? What are your hardware skills?
Ooh, hardware, huh?
Like,
I've got
Aerospace-
robotics at 50.
Robotics.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you said you had aerospace?
Aerospace, demolitions, and industrial.
Industrial. So, okay. This is going to be unfortunately a disadvantage. So, if you want to do a robotics, you can do that at a negative 20.
Oof.
So,
And that's the closest one.
yep, that's going to be the closest one. So,
Yikes. Yikes, guys. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sorry for this roll.
oh, you're attacking it in, so I'll say that while you're fixing the car. So, go ahead.
Yeah. 76 is a failure.
Yep. So,
I think I'm going to attempt to re-roll that with my last flex point. All right, dice. I don't like you, and you don't like me. And get this roll out, and maybe I won't have to roll you ever again. Because you'll be in the trash. 68.
so yeah, you're not
Well.
really sure about that. So,
I don't know. This is kind of outside my field, guys.
So, yep, that's a little bit, odd for this situation here. So yeah, you do see that, so you can try to get scan on there. The Reaper morph still has no idea what's going on, so going to be infiltrate. And Joe, go ahead and make your you don't have to make a pilot check. You've got it up and run, so you can get.
Yeah.
You're going to be in a position in this one. So, all right, either of you can go ahead and use your tools to examine to see if you can find the. If you can go ahead and find the device that your benefactor stated that was on it, that carrying the rest of the rep.
That would probably be scavenging for that, or
Yeah, I would allow scavenging, or if you want to use any kind. Let's see.
just don't say Titan machines. That would not be cool.
No,
Don't
no
do
worries
that.
about that. So, yeah, I would say that, or if you would like to make an That's like infosec skill to see if this thing is. Actually, it would be a scan there. So I would say research. Go ahead. You can go ahead and do a research roll because through one of
Okay.
the devices they just set to scan. So
Okay.
and Ryan, if you have any particular skill set you can do, just let me know. So
I got a 5.
you got a 5. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was that on? Research.
No, that was on InfoSec. Sorry.
InfoSec. Okay, so all right. So yeah, you were basically getting into the system. So yeah, you don't see that's anything there, but you do actually link into a personal database that is referencing all of this, and that's when you look at that, it's oddly unguarded. So which is a bit off right now, and you don't really understand there. And that's when you end up noticing it's like an interesting link on there that you don't really kind of understand. It actually lists art assets for Halcyon, which is including a couple things. Also, Sava, you actually do see the BT Barnum posters. So if you want to attempt to grab those, so
All right, what do I need to do to attempt to grab those?
that'll be an infiltrate roll. So, but I'll let you roll that here in a second. But what you actually find is that they there's another piece that you see that was specifically donated that you noticed over at the wormhole gallery or the eternal wormhole, which was the infinite egress sculpture. And the when you look at it too, again, because it's bringing up some interesting things, it's actually bringing up particular specs things right now, and that's a bit weird for how it describes a sculpture being made. And let's see. Do you have knowledge? What's your knowledge skills again? Sorry, Pivo.
Let's see. Black markets, cartels, flight crew, reclaimer, scavenging, Titan machines, and uplift culture.
Yeah, go ahead and roll reclaimer.
Okay. That is a 44. I don't know if I like this result.
Is that a critical success?
That's a critical success.
You just kind of look at that for a second too, because you realize, when you're seeing other design stuff on, we're talking about Earth or things, but there's a bit of reclaimer things that reclaimer knowledge that comes back to you when discussing, some of the one of your old missions on Earth where you were given off of a Luna. A briefing on Luna. In particular, they were worried about one of the missions that they wanted to go down to the planet for because they were under the impression that there was a potential Titan-made Pandora Gate that was much smaller than they normally saw, but had an odd shape. This looks oddly like that shape that you saw.
Okay.
So, go ahead. Now that you're wrestling with that information, Sava, go ahead and make your infiltrate roll to get what you need.
All right. Do we still have the big bonuses?
Yes, that I will say that has degraded, so that's only going to be a plus 30 now if you're going to go for this. So,
All right, that's still. I rolled a 98, so that is still a success.
a success. All right. So as long as it wasn't a 99, that would be bad. So, all right. Yep, you get that too. But this also allows you to make an. I will go ahead and actually allow you, because of where you're going from there. That actually allows you to make a perceive check.
All right. I will spend a flex to perceive. I
Okay.
get 58.
58. Okay.
Boy,
So
we're really burning through this.
The flex.
Yeah, we're burning through it late too. Ugh.
Yep. So.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and basically, the infiltrate what it is there is to show how long the Reaper is going to be distracted until it turns around and goes, "Oh shoot!" So.
We're putting on a good show for them. It's good.
But yeah, as you're going back, because you're just kind of being quiet, you walk up behind the giant, and you finally notice what you weren't seeing, what you and your friends weren't seeing because of this. Um, the table that he's standing on right now, under all the ornate sculpting and gilding around that, this is an ego bridge. One that's been set into there, and it looks like something absolutely is linked into that.
Again.
And Burke, that's about the time you pull up the hover car on the opposite side, the transport.
Right, blasting progressive heavy metal jazz.
I really want to make you roll a luck roll, but I won't do it this time. So.
For a third time.
Actually, no. I'm gonna. Okay, now I gotta do this. So make a pilot check to make sure it does. You're not heard. You'll have the same bonus, so you're only a plus 30 right now.
All right, 11. Whisper quiet.
Yep.
You only hear it when I open the door.
All right.
Excellent baffling.
All right. So
it is the Bobby Brown vehicle, after all. He's got that thing soundproof ready to
every
go.
once in a while. But yeah. There's a potential. We share this right now. There's a potential morph in this thing. So,
it's coming with us. Let's get this thing out of here.
All right. Well, part of that's going to be disconnecting this in order to be able to do this without it, because you have no idea if it's pulled off right now or it's not, or if something is uploaded into this. So how are you trying to get it out? Because it is connected.
Would that be a hardware skill of some kind?
If you part of that would be being able to do for something like doing with morphs right now, or for technical ones. Somebody said you had hardware industrial.
Yep, I do.
All right. There are ones that have been used for that too. What's your skill on that?
80.
80? Oh, 80? Okay. This is a little bit more different and fancy, so I'm going to say that's at a negative 20 to get that. So,
is there any way I could use my little guardian swarm to form wheels underneath it and like kind of slowly wheel it out?
That could be a possibility. Excuse me, sorry. Don't you love it when a cough freezes your vocal cords? So,
we've been talking a long time. Take a drink of water.
Yeah,
that's okay. No, you can do that afterwards, but basically this is disconnecting it first, so to make sure that it doesn't set anything else off. So,
well, I got an 88. That's a
critical failure.
I'm gonna have to burn my last flex just to make it not critical and do something horribly stupid.
Okay. All right, so you're reducing that to around a different failure. This regular failure.
I just don't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I will tell you that prevents the Reaper morph. It's still distracted, but that does activate you see that activates something on the table, and it produces as stasis. It's like stasis out. That's like initiating. That's initiating more for activation, and you see cracks starting to form along the sides of the giant itself. So it's like something is coming out from it. You have one round to decide what you're doing before it gets out.
Well, it's Burke's time to shine. Blast it.
All right, what are you hitting it with?
I don't know, guns. Looks like all I have, because we didn't get any special guns, is I have a shredder.
Oh, shredder can do something, so.
All right, I'm going to shred it.
All right, let me pull up the gear list on there to make sure. It's been a while. All right. Weapons.
And I have a diamond axe. I could hit it.
That's true. Okay, yeah. So we'll do this one at a time. So let me find our, because it is technically down right now. Where's our gear list for weapons?
No, guys. If we're probably gonna have to leave.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not going the way we hoped.
Alrighty.
So as for that disassembler swarm, so taking it. Hubris.
You do have a disassembler swarm.
That we do.
Well, we'll use it later. The fucking hubris of us.
All right. So. Weapons beam, kinetic, seeker spray, connect 210. Sorry. So did you make that roll on your?
Oh, I haven't rolled yet.
You haven't rolled. Okay.
I'm afraid. It's a 30. It's a 30 out of more than 30.
Okay, so yeah, no, that so you definitely hit that. So
guns. It's a 30 out of 65. Pretty good.
30 out of 65. So yep, that actually hits. Let's see, seeker. Where's the shredder on this? So actually, does it have your damage on listing on the character sheet? I should.
It's comp/GP.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. Let me scroll up. Maybe it's up here.
It's okay.
It doesn't look like it.
All right. Let's see. Weapons. Sorry. Shredder. Mod plus R2. Let's see if I can find it in here. I love looking through new
codes.
stuff. So. All right, so yeah, for the weapons right now, that's again good enough. You definitely do hit it, and you hear some inhuman-ish screeching from underneath. So, but it does seem to be trapped right now for it. And let me take a look. So,
inhuman screeching.
Yeah, slightly inhuman screeching.
Oh, it doesn't bother me. I'm a robot.
Yep. So, all right. But you'll all deal with that here in a second too. Actually, you do need to do that when that hits. So go ahead, everybody, make a will roll.
Will roll. Oh, this is where stuff gets bad.
That's a 76. That's not going to do it.
Yeah, that's going to be not fun.
90. No, 69 again out of 30. Cool.
Oh, good God. So, alrighty. So for that, and all right, and Pivo, did you make your roll?
Oh no, I failed miserably.
Okay, I failed too. All right, so if you failed right now for that, go ahead and take a 3 lucidity hit. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not going to worry about the damage right now at this point. But it is pulling herself up right now, and that is that's like so. You do have 1 round off of this to kind of go. So yeah, it is still screeching. It actually did take damage from that, but you notice what looks like very, very much darker blood than you would probably realize is coming out, and the arms that are breaking free from it are still. They don't look so much that's like a humanoid morph, as more of a large cockroach.
Never seen one of those before.
All right, but yeah, you do. But you do have your other actions turned. So Pivo and Sava, what are you doing?
Shoot it! Shoot it! Shoot it!
Yeah, just opening fire with the pistol.
Pistol? Okay. So, alrighty then. Yeah, go ahead and just make roll. So, see if you could. Actually, since it's your. Yeah, I'm going to say actually because where you're at, you're both basically point blank range. So that's going to be plus 30.
I somehow miss 91.
Oh, man.
I have too many arms flailing around. I can't aim the gun.
All right, I'll burst for extra damage.
Okay.
And I will hit. 49.
49.
Yeah.
All right. So, and do you just have a regular pistol?
Yeah, medium pistol.
Medium pistol. Okay. Let me take a look and see. Excuse me. Oh, okay. So, let me take a look at that. Yeah, so that's gonna be definitely in there. So, range, combat. What's the damage on that? Medium pistol. Okay, so so that's gonna be double on there. So go ahead and roll 2d10, and then double it.
That's a 10. So
10. So your point blank range right now for that. So 20. Good job. So, and burst because you're doing burst rolls, right?
mhm.
Yeah. And for extra damage. All right. And okay, Joe, my apologies. So on the shredder, since you're with that, I'm also allow you point blank since you're right there. So go ahead and roll 2d10 plus 6.
2d10 plus 6. Ah, finally, a high roll that helps.
Okay.
So that's 2d10 plus 6, 14, 21.
21 with point blank on there as well. So okay, yeah. All right. So you finally got incredibly lucky. So all right. So here is the events and things that need to happen here. So you basically managed to slaughter this thing before it breaks out of its very, very creepy chrysalis. Good job. But just seeing that about it, or that right now, you do. But it's about that time that the Reaper morph turns around, and you can actually hear the voice sitting on there. Primary primary chrysalis there, Halcyon Xander. That's Halcyon Xander in distress, activating defense protocols. So it has identified this thing as Halcyon Xander.
Well, it was Halcyon Xander.
It was.
I was pretty sure that's out of character. I was pretty sure that's what was going on, but there's no way Burke would know.
Yeah, no,
that's fine too. But like I said, so yes, the Colossus is the giant is obviously something else too. But let's see. Actually, I will allow everybody else to go ahead and make just general cognition rolls. So on this one too, think of something before you leave.
Odd 5, I pass.
Okay.
22.
Okay. Yep. And critical success. Yeah. If whatever this guy's plan was, and as creepy as it was, you realize probably the one thing that's holding all that rep is his cortical stack.
Well, cool.
Well,
so
get that.
If you want to get
it out.
All right. Welcome to combat. So everybody roll initiative.
All right.
D10, right?
8 plus 8, I believe.
Okay.
11 total.
11. Okay.
Joe, 12.
12, and Joe, you got 16.
16.
16. All right. You are be grateful right now because I rolled like hell. So it's like, so Joe, you're at the top of the round. So
yeah.
What do you? So this is a Reaper morph though. So
I mean, yeah, it's not good.
It is not.
Listen, I know it's not good.
And knowing is half the battle.
Right. Boy. That disassembler swarm would be really sweet right about now.
You still have it.
Yeah, we have it. You can still.
The problem is that it disassembles like everything in the area, though, doesn't it?
For that, yeah, it is a pop-off, Sue, so you would have to run. So it is a decision, but yeah, that would kind of help out. That's like helping what you need. So, but he is acting at the last of the round, so this could be something for you. I would actually say this: if you want to play a task action, to be able to set this off or distract him in a way where you could pop it off and allow your cohorts to get to the stack, that's perfectly fine. But also note that you are the only one who could pilot the hover car.
Yeah. So many problems.
Well, any of us can activate the swarm. It's just a matter of if we can get to the stack in time.
That's true.
I am gonna say no. We'll wait. We'll let it go on our way out. I think is the way to go.
Okay.
Right.
So part of this, but
I'm
it's
just gonna
also
shoot it. Not that it'll matter.
okay. You're providing distraction to shooting it. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your roll. So
Maybe I should just melee it.
well, you do have
Burke,
a have a
no.
shredder. So
I have a
shredders are good,
shredder.
though.
I've got a flex cutter. I got some claws. Maybe it's time for this aggro. No, let's just shred it.
Okay.
30 again. Cool. Thanks,
Okay.
Dice.
All right. So it is off the other side of the road, so you won't have point blank on this. But you can go ahead and make a roll for damage again.
All right.
So 2d10 plus 6.
2d10 plus 6.
Okay.
This thing's dangerous. That would be, wow, 25.
25. Okay, that's now actually pretty good. So let's see. It has good durability on there. Right. So where is your armor? So it's a heavy frame soap, but it has 12 on armor though. So we're gonna soak. All right. Yeah. So you actually do cut it into it a little bit. So,
All right.
but it's obviously not down. So
As I'm hosing it down with this future shotgun, I'm like, hurry up! Hurry up!
So alrighty then. But okay. So yeah, you do have that. Going up to the next of the round. Sarah, what are you doing? Saba, what are you doing?
I'll get to the stack.
Okay, so or at that, I'm gonna say yeah, that's this thing's completely on. So I'm gonna say that's just an athletics to get in there and actually, sorry, I had to, but that's yeah. So that's like you have to bounce around across the room. So go ahead and make a free fall check.
All right. 15 out of 55. So that's
Easily. So it's gonna take a task action to get that out of there. So you'll have it by next turn. So.
All right.
So just kind of keeping around there too. Yeah, I will say that dodge can be a quick action if you need to, but or you do have. So you'll have to be very careful about that. So all right, next one, Pivo.
I'm just going to buy us time and take fire at the Reaper morph.
Okay, go ahead.
With
Make a shot.
I'm going to do burst fire on that.
Okay. Okay.
That is a 30. I actually made that.
30. Okay. It is not point blank though, but you do have the burst on there. So go ahead and make your roll, which is 2d10.
2d10. Yep. That would be 9 total.
9. Okay. So yeah, it just kind of looks at you. So it's the armor is completely absorbed, but you did that. But it did catch your attention though. And unfortunately, since you went through burst fire and full action, you don't have a dodge. So
I stand by my choices. I shake one of my arms at it in rage.
oh my god. Yeah, 1 second. So yeah, as it looks right now, it has a odd or even.
Even.
Unfortunately, it does have a machine gun hard point emplacement. So
This is gonna hurt.
I don't think unfortunate is a strong enough word.
it really isn't. All right. Fortunately for you, though, damn it, it completely and utterly misses. It actually goes across there, so you got incredibly lucky on it.
As he fires, I flail my many arms and somehow manage to avoid all.
That is true. So, all right. So, very good job. Okay. So we're back at the top of the round. Barak, what are you doing?
Shoot it again.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't destroy our getaway vehicle.
Well, the thing of it is, it's still in turn right now, and you might have that available to you. So, because you're all gonna have to get there to it, so you might want to have it prepped for everybody to go.
I think I gotta shoot it first.
Okay, so that's on there. All right, go ahead and make your roll.
If you still have vigor,
16.
16. All right, that does hit again. It's not attempting to dodge. It's too angry. So
Right, it's too angry. It's very furious at us.
Okay, make your.
We did a
damage roll.
bad thing. This is just 16 for damage.
16 damage. All right, so it only takes about 4 more. So for outside of its physical. So yeah, it actually is struggling a little bit, but mainly just off. So, all right. Next on the turn, Sava. So this is your last tax action to get the cortical stack out. So, I will say that you're just pulling this out at this point.
Right.
So go ahead and make a somatics check to get it out.
Okay.
So it'll be somatics times 3.
I will spend vigor to flip that to a
Okay.
19 and pass.
All right, so you have it now. So good. All right, you have Halcyon's cortical stack. Good job. So, all right, and finally, Pivo, what are you doing?
I'm bailing. I'm running towards the ship.
Oh, you're just getting the hell out. So all
I'm
right.
out.
All right, make a free fall check.
Let's see. That is a 35
Okay.
out of 50. So yeah.
All right, so you it's going across there. So you should make it by the end of the next turn. So let's slide there. So, but he's at the top of the round. Let's see. Who are you aiming at? So 1, 2. I am sorry, Pivo, but you were the one that shot it. It sees the moving target. So
I wasn't the only one that shot it, but I understand.
no, and just to let you know, I did roll a dice to see who it was going for. So
It's all good.
Random. So, but it makes it. It takes a shot, and it absolutely makes it a 0.7. So
that's great.
that's gonna be a 3d10 plus 2.
This is gonna hurt.
Let's see. So all right. So for that, it's going in there. So that's going to be 13 damage. So
Okay.
all physical.
All right.
And I will actually say, since you were running, I will allow a dodge though, since that's moving right now. That's a quick action, so you can try to attempt to evade it.
That would be Frey. Is that right?
Yep, that's a fray check. My apologies. So yep, you do have an attempt to fray it since you're just running away. So
It matters not. I got a 66 out of 50.
oh, that just kind of doubles that damage. So as you literally go right into it. So that's 24.
All right. Well,
SpongeBob, 24.
that hurts a lot, but I'm not dead. I'm not dead yet. It
Not
just
quite,
hurts a
so.
lot.
All right, but that be so well. Actually, how much? So that's 24. How much does that take you down on? What's your durability and
My durability is 30.
so and what's your wound threshold?
6. So
6. Yeah,
You
you took
have,
a couple.
mhm.
You also have the 10 kinetic armor, so.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You took her there. All right, but yeah, it took its turn. So all right, last part of that. So back to the top. Beck, what are you doing?
Well, what kind of shape does this Reaper morph look like it's in?
It is definitely kind of struggling just a little bit, but it's still gaining its foothold. So it's still a Reaper morph coming at you with a full load on a machine gun.
All right. What's the status on stack removal?
It is out. So you just have to bounce towards it. So if you can make successful free fall checks, you can get to the ship.
How about
get
Frey?
to the ship.
Frey's just if you're getting shot at though. Free fall
Okay,
is
I'm
going
not
to
getting
be
shot at. All right.
Yeah. Not
All right,
yet.
I'm going
anyway.
to grab it and get to the ship. I got a 50 in free fall. Let's see how this goes.
Okay.
10.
10.
Nice.
All right, good.
Thank
All right.
God.
All right, we'll see if what happens here. So, all right, next one, Sava.
I will also free fall to the ship.
All right.
I will not succeed.
Okay, you did not succeed?
No.
Okay, so, all right, so that means it's going to get a shot at you unless something else happens here. So, and finally, Pivo. You are at it, so because of what you did, so I'm not going to, you are pretty perforated right now, so what's your action?
Yeah, no, me and my 3 remaining limbs are getting into the ship. Just
Okay, so,
crawl and hide, crawl and hide.
all right, so yeah, I will say you have basically a shot to action, so you're just kind of for freeze if you're wanting to do this. So, all right, but that means that yeah, unfortunately, the last shot is going to go to Sava before you try to flee. But that is a 98, so at least it's crawling on a leg, so it misses you. So, all right, but you are all back.
Spend a second point of vigor to get another action now, and I
Okay.
will try to get to the ship again.
Okay, so yeah, all right, yeah, you can go ahead. Make your roll. Actually, you don't even have to make the roll, so you're close enough. I'll say within the failure. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I
So,
succeeded anyway, but yeah, I get onto the ship.
all right. That being said, last things last. This will be an athletics check to throw to make sure that. So there's 2 rolls that have to be made before this. Joe's going to have to make his piloting check to get you guys out, and if you're going to use that disassembler swarm, somebody has to make an athletics check to throw it.
All right, yeah, piloting check to get away. Somebody else throw that disassembler swarm. Don't drop it inside our air car.
Who's got
All right,
the best
32
athletic?
to bounce.
Okay, so you're out. So let's see what happens.
I will throw it with athletics.
Okay.
And that is a failure.
Okay, so you're gonna get away, but yeah, this isn't gonna be fun. So 1 second.
At least it wasn't a critical failure.
1d6 per turn.
True.
All right, so that does not actually do any damage to you, thankfully, but it does literally eat through the rest of your armor, and it only is just by the grace that that Beck got you away in time out of speed range. So it could have been so much worse. So, but yeah, you managed to get away. There is chaos around the penthouse building. The war halls are still still doing their AR war. Street war with the Nova Jack City. As you see, it's like nano tags going across everywhere, and unfortunate people who are caught in the crossfire of this are either being pushed around with new AR masks or being living tags here. But you make it back. You go back. That's like turn. So you have a couple things here. You inform the Mad Elf as you're turning in, as you give the information over for the BT Barnum flyers that you could not recover the giant itself. So are you telling her what it actually is?
I mean,
I think we kind of
should.
have
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Okay, so and are you telling her what that thing is? Are you giving her the information about what is in her gallery?
No.
I think we should just not talk to her.
Yep.
We did steal from her, and we don't have anything to give her. So let's just.
You have the PT Barnum. So that's
we're
basically.
giving that to the scum swarm, though.
Oh, you're right. So sorry, I thought that was there. My apologies. So yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, my apologies. So you give that to her. Yep. You don't have to do that. Anything else? You're not afforded that.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think we just burn. I think you're right. Just burn the contact with her and
Yeah.
not inform her of the terrible device that is just in her gallery
that's
right
true.
now.
So, my apologies. I mixed that slide up. So all right. Yeah. You take the cortical stack back to your contact. You send send information, and she provides you with an ego bridge to send Halcyon back to his way, where a lot of he's going to go under a lot of psychosurgery to basically make sure that he is willingly giving back the assets for Comet Express. So, but you are all handsomely rewarded for your troubles. Give a lot of spendable cash, specifically Novo, if you wanted to be able to spend some time here in New York. But all of you have a massive, nice hypercore rep bonus that has been set your way. So, job well done, good job. And as a bonus, if you ever wanted to, you do have the location of an unknown Pandora gate now. So that somebody else can bother with.
Valuable.
So, but that ends it right there. Questions, comments, suggestions?
No, it was a great game. Good
Yeah,
times.
no, lot of fun.
So, to give you the background on it, so what it is Xander Halcyon actually was not any kind of X threat. So, he was just a really horrible yuppie executive who had massive immortality blues. And decided that after being it's like living as long as he did in the normal corporate world, he really wanted a full getaway. So he managed to make deals with other Earth artifacts, which he did actually. It's something that you did not go on. If you did other exploring in the penthouse, you actually would have found the real Cardiff Giant. So, So that artifact still does exist, but he basically made a long plan to fake his own death, and during his other searches right now actually found a miniaturized Titan version of a Pandora gate that he was planning to utilize in a massive escape. So he had planned this whole situation where originally the Mad Elf was going to bring it up to the Mad Elf was going to bring it up to the dealer right now, as per one of his final wishes, and he would awaken from his chrysalis, activate it, and then go live on an exoplanet somewhere in a Suriamorph. Which, if you don't know, that's the large podmorph cockroach. So, so for that, but obviously his plans were ruined in this case, so by you, and there are other assets available too. So so basically it looks like a weird firewall thing, but in the end, which actually has one weird firewall thing that would look there, but at the end of the day, it's just it's a very interesting art scheme. So
Yeah. No, it's and I really like the art angle with it. It was an interesting spin on Eclipse phase.
So I think I would like to, because I love doing firewall missions, but I really like doing things in the society. And since we haven't really covered that a lot in a lot of the RPPR games, and I was actually inspired a little bit by our friend Ray over at Insert Quest here, because several years ago I did a game with him for his podcast where it was like a Halloween night on Mars. So, and it was a really interesting thing. So this kind of inspired me to try to think of something outside the normal. Hey, what horror did you find in the Barsoomian Plains? So,
right.
With it. So.
Yeah, the only thing that I thought was just a little hard to wrap my head around was the different groups once we got to the art gallery. It's just,
okay.
And that might just be easier at a table where it's a little bit easier to keep track of. But
and that is true. So, and I apologize. I was kind of trying to see how I could differentiate them a little bit too, because the war halls are about, just like pop modern and everything and destroying, which I did steal a little bit of inspiration from the Doom Factory from Venture Brothers, since that was just Andy Warhol is the Legion of Doom. But wanted to make them more than the romantic movement. I just like to see, for some reason, think that there are basically pseudo French aristocrats wandering in space. So I thought that was hilarious. And then the one thing that you didn't go for is that if you had went with the Nova Preservation Society, they could actually have gotten you possibly into the building without a lot of fighting too. So, and could have provided possible deactivation codes for a couple of the other services and led you to the actual Colossus. So, I keep saying the Colossus, the Giant. My apologies. So, I only say this because if you are interested, there is a great actual historical nonfiction called A Colossal Hoax that actually talks about all the Cardiff Giant that I bought. So it's a really good book. So part of the idea where I get stuff to use for. So
Nice.
and different things. So, all right. But no, thank you guys. We're all wonderful. So, everybody, thank you so much for listening in. If you liked this game and would like to try to join one, we do one usually every week within the month. If you can join our Patreon at the $10 level, that gives you access to these monthly games as well as our Discord server and all of the after hours episodes that you would like to see. And again, if you'd like to support us in any other way, we do have a Patreon. That supports the podcast. It keeps us going, especially now too, where we're kind of in uncertain times. So we want to keep definitely providing this for you. So everybody else, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun.
All right, thank you.
It was great.
All right, now
Bye.
end the broadcast.